wait, let's see.
Hello, everybody.
Hey. Hello and welcome to the first episode of Nighttime. I hope that this has been long awaited. I hope that everyone has really been wetting their pants for me to get this microphone cord so I could babble on about things you don't care about. Today I have Tori with me. Hey, special guest Tori. Yes, Tori, why don't you go ahead and tell everyone what we're going to be talking about today?
Today, I drove Sterling to Chipotle to have a sit-down talk, and then we decided to go and kiki at the mall, and we went into Hot Topic, and Sterling found the Five Nights at Freddy's shirt that she's been wanting for forever.
Okay, well, there's a whole story behind the shirt, and that story is that I talked to my brother texted me and he's like, "What do you want for Christmas?" And I was like, "Ugh, what do I want for Christmas?" And then I said, "You know what I don't have? I don't have a FNAF shirt. I need a FNAF shirt. I'm so much of a fan that like I need a FNAF shirt, but I need like a cool FNAF shirt so that I don't look stupid and I look like a cool person."
Right.
That's what the green hair does, if you didn't know. And so I texted him, and I sent him these two options. One was one from Etsy, and one was one from Hot Topic. And then a week goes by, and I get a text from my sister-in-law, and she's like, "Hey, I don't like either of those shirts." Well, okay, that's a lie. She liked the one from Etsy, but it was sold out, and so she couldn't get it. And so she was like, "Listen, I don't like that shirt, so I can't get it for you because I'm not going to get something for you that I don't like." And I was like, "Okay, queen, like, you do you."
Please be with you and with your spirit.
Exactly. And so she ended up giving me for Christmas was a Hot Topic gift card. And so I was like, "Oh, but that now I have to go buy it," which I am a procrastinator at heart. I will always procrastinate. If I need to, I will procrastinate. And so I went today, and I wasn't even planning to go in. And then I was like, okay, I'll just go in and look at the T-shirt sizes so I know which size to order. Because I didn't think they would have it. I didn't think it would have it because this shirt is so sick. Like,
which is so valid.
I thought that it would be sold out or, like, they wouldn't have it for some reason because I thought everyone would be gnawing at the bits to get this shirt because I think this shirt is literally the coolest shirt I've ever seen in my entire life.
Right. Also, I bet you thought that there were going to be more people at the mall,
yes,
but there was
we
literally
went to the mall.
nobody
there. Was
there.
no one. We walked in and I was like, "Oh, are they closed?"
I was like, "Oh,
at 1:30 in the afternoon." That was crazy.
Oh, that was crazy.
And also, we were like walking around, and I was around every turn, I was like ready to, I don't know, like protect you. You're welcome.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, of course. Anyways, so we go in, and I'm looking at the shirt sizes, and I'm like, "Oh, I don't know. I guess I'll get a large." Like, we decided on large, and we're about to walk out, and Tori's like, "Is that not the shirt you want?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And she picks it up, and it is the shirt, the sickest shirt I've ever seen in my entire life.
Sterling was like, "No, that's not it." I was like, "No, this is literally the shirt." I was like, "No, Sterling." And then I picked it up, and I showed her, and she was like, "Oh, my God."
Which, thank God there was no one in the Hot Topic, because I was freaking out. I literally was like, "Oh, my God, this shirt is so cool. It's the sickest shirt I've ever seen in my entire life."
It was literally us and the lady. And the lady was so cool.
She was,
oh my God,
she was really cool.
She passed the vibe test.
She did. She made sure that we got our little discounts and all of this stuff. Anyways, this is the shirt for any of our viewers and not listeners.
And I'm gonna say it is a very sick shirt.
I can't tell if you can like see it, but like that shirt is sick.
It's so cool, and especially like with all the FNAF lore. Like, are you kidding? And then while we were shopping for the shirt, there was these security breach drinks.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm debating on getting one.
And they're not even like the drinks from the game. Like in the game, there's like Fizzy Fazz and like all of these different like FNAF themed. No, they were just, this is just a cherry limeade drink.
Yeah,
it's
like, a cherry limeade drink with the security breach. Like it's like taped on there. It's like a sticker on there.
It's got like Gregory and like, you know, Glamrock Freddy and all of the characters.
And I was like, I looked at it for a bit and I was like, should I get it? Should I? And I was like, I'm debating on getting it.
Literally, we were in there for like 10 minutes, and every minute, Tori would be like, "Should I?" And I was like, "Girl, if you want to, get it." And so,
while we were checking out, the lady was like,
was like, "Are you sure you don't want to get it?"
And I was like, "Hey, YOLO, like it's fine." And I was like, "Wait, scan it first." She scanned it. By the way, it was like what? $4.99.
No, it was $3.99.
Oh, $3.99. $4 for this drink. And oh my God, I literally was like, well, and my mom already has an account there, so she was like, oh, maybe, but if you have a different phone number, like, I can get you the discount. And I was like, okay, like, I love a good discount. And so I got it, and then with the discount, it was 10% off, so it was like $3.
Yeah.
And she was like, and like, do you want to complete the set or something like that? I thought she was talking about those little like pin things that you got.
I got a little mystery pin, which I got a little mystery Foxy that I put on my Crocs. So if you see me anytime soon, take a good look at my Crocs. They have changed. There is an update to the Crocs.
Yeah.
Anyways, but she was like, everything in the store is buy one, get one 30% off. So do you want to get another one for 30% off so that, you know, both of us can have one? And we ended up doing that. And so we're going to be trying them at the end of today's episode.
At the end of today's episode.
Yes.
Because guess what today's episode is all about? Five Nights at Freddy's.
We're gonna be. So Tori has been watching through 1, 2, and 3. You've watched 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, I'm on 4 right now for Markiplier. Yeah.
So we're gonna talk about like 1, 2, like Five Nights at Freddy's 1, 2, and 3, and then like other lore and stuff. And so Tori actually had a good question that I started talking about off camera, and I was like, wait.
We have to
this is a podcast
podcast
question.
Yeah.
So if you've never been in my room. Which most of you haven't, so get off my back.
We can insert
creepy
a picture, too.
Stalkers. Yeah, we definitely could insert a picture. She's looking at my poster over here, and she goes, you know you asked the question.
So if we put a picture in, it has like a bunch of characters from Five Nights at Freddy's, and I remember I was watching actually Matt Pat's game theory video.
Love him.
And he was
R.I.P. Matt Pat.
Yes. Oh my God. By the way, I cried.
I cried too. I literally was like, stop.
He said we were not just numbers,
not just analytics. And I literally, he goes, you were never just a number. You were never just an ad impression. And I was getting ready for work, like I was going to a princess party, and so I was doing like princess makeup.
Yeah.
And like I have like full face, I'm like caked and all this stuff. And I literally was watching it, and I was like, and I had to like take a minute so that I wouldn't ruin my makeup. It was crazy.
Oh my God. Like, he's so sweet, but like good for him for.
Yes, like I'm happy for him. I'm happy for him, and like I'm so excited that he gets to go and spend time with his family and like all of that.
Yeah.
Like he so deserves that for everything that he's given to the internet. But I was devastated.
Yeah, it was really sad.
It was a rough morning.
And he was like, what we have, it's special. And I was like, yes, Matt Pat, it is special. It is special.
And then he starts the grandpa analogy he made where he was like,
God.
He was like, you don't always get to see him, and you know,
I'm gonna cry again.
You only get to see him on holidays, but that doesn't mean he loves you any less, and that doesn't mean he's any less excited to see you. I literally was sitting there, and I was like, this is the end of my childhood. Like, my childhood is over. Literally the day before my birthday. Yes.
Oh my god.
The day before my birthday is the day that he's uploading his like last celebration of like him being on the channel, and so I was like, oh, so my childhood is dying.
It's done.
Got it. The next day I'm an adult. Whatever.
I literally said that if Markiplier ever like puts up something like that, I'm literally like quitting life. Like I'm done.
I was never a Markiplier girly.
Really?
Yeah.
I honestly when I was in my gamer era, I started being more of a Markiplier girly. So I watch a lot more of him now because I used to play Fortnite a lot, but I always wanted to like branch out and like watch gameplays, and a lot during COVID I would watch him. I watched him play Resident Evil Village, the one with Lady Dimitrescu, the giant lady with the big boobs. Okay, so back to what we were discussing.
Yes.
Before we went on the whole Matt Pat thing.
Yeah. Which speaking of, just real quick, I want to do an episode so bad about like how he specifically has like affected the YouTube like ecosystem and all of that stuff, but that's for a later date. So anyways, but that's just anyways, continue with your question.
Also, if you're watching, I do have 3 drinks. I have an Arnold Palmer, I'm drinking coffee right now, and I have water. I apologize.
You have your pickle juice
and my pickle juice, but I'm not gonna drink that because I don't know if I like pickle juice like that. Anyways, so I remember watching one of Matt Pat's videos, and it mentioned Shadow Bonnie, and I never like really got the concept. I'm also like really early in watching.
She's a very new FNAF fan.
Yeah, very new FNAF fan, very new to the lore. I just started understanding Dream Theory, but I had to watch like 5 videos on it.
Even with that, it's like Dream Theory isn't relevant anymore, but it's relevant in the fact of like the history of FNAF theory. But anyways, and it's like you know, there's like what 10 years now of like FNAF theory to catch up on, and so it's like this is like an undertaking that you're taking that's gonna it's like a project.
Yeah, it's like
it's not like you can sit down in an afternoon and be like, oh, I know FNAF theory. No, you don't.
No, you don't.
You
it's
absolutely
like 7
do not.
Different things. That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, and then also it's like everyone else has a different answer of what.
Yeah,
everything
that's
is.
so true.
Yeah.
Honestly, but I really like Matt Pat's theory.
I really like Matt Pat too, but it was a big moment for me. I had a moment where, do you watch FNAF? He does like different, like he's the one who does like, I solved a security breach, or, anyways, you should look into his theories when you get more like into the newer games.
I just watched like the like overview of all the lore with like William Afton and Mike.
Well, when you get more into like the theories that are like more nuanced about like little things that are happening in the game, he does a lot of those. Like he did I solved FNAF security breach, and when that came out, I remember because that was like he looked at the game in a way that no one else really had before, and he like changed kind of the trajectory of where FNAF theory was heading with security breach, and because of that, he like kept making videos, and he disagrees with Matt Pat on some stuff. And he brought this one theory. I remember that it had to do with glitch trap, which glitch trap in Help Wanted.
I have not gotten that far.
Okay,
wait. I think I know what you're talking about, because glitch trap is also in featured in the virtual reality.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's
so
the
I
right
know
one.
who you're talking about.
So in FNAF Help Wanted, when he like gets closer to you, he'll start like waving at you like this with his it's really creepy. It's really creepy.
Oh my god, I'm gonna literally
You'll love it. The end of Help Wanted is genuinely one of the best endings of like any of the FNAF games, I think. It's yeah, I won't tell you what it is, but it's one of those ones where it's like it's genuinely like disturbing. But anyways,
I'm still trying to get past 4. 4 is really scary. Okay. Yeah, it's so scary. The games are really like, ooh.
Yeah.
I have to like watch them during the day because I do at night. There was a point in life when I was doing mattress, I would watch Markiplier, and because I was so like tired and exhausted from everything that was happening, I would literally fall asleep. 5 Nights at Freddy's 2, 3.
That is crazy.
Yeah, some of the scariest ones. I would say personally, I think the scariest FNAF game 3 and 4, because 3 has all those like ghost jump scares. Like they're not like
the phantoms.
Phantoms. Oh my god, I played FNAF 3 on
VR. and then all of the VR games. I was literally about to say that is that all of the games are like in VR too, which is like they're massive. They are huge.
It's literally right up in your face. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And if you do what's it called? Parks and Services.
Yes, with Chica. I literally, that is the one that like got me, where like she was massive. Like there's one part where you have to like push a button on either side of her jaw, and literally you're like staring up at her like this. Like she's so tall, and you're like putting your like this, and my arms were like completely open because she was so huge. Yeah, but anyways, those are so scary. But so with the glitch trap thing, he stands and goes sideways like this, and one of his theories had to do with that this other character had, I don't want to spoil too much for you, but this other character had a like doll that would do the same thing. And so he was saying that like that is a clear connection between them, which I thought was really strong evidence. Like I remember watching that and being like, that is a really good piece of evidence.
Matt Pat always, like, especially with his series, is always backed up with evidence.
That was I think his name is Matt too. Oh my gosh, I don't remember what John. His name is John. Yes, that's John with FNAF Theory. And then Matt Pat went on and like reacted to his FNAF Theory, and of course I watched that. Duh.
Yeah, of course.
And so I watched that, and he was like, I don't know how I feel about that piece of evidence, and he like didn't agree with it.
Yeah.
And I literally was like, that was the first time that I was like, oh, I don't agree with Matt Pat on that one. Like that was the first time that I was like, I was siding with John, which makes me sad, but also like I feel like that kind of prepared me for him to leave. Yeah. But anyways, okay, back to your question.
The question is, who is Shadow Bonnie? Because I've heard so much about Shadow Bonnie and this and that, but I'm like so early into the gameplays that I'm like, who is it? And at first I thought that Shadow Bonnie was Wither Bonnie, which you told me. I thought she was Bonnie without the face.
Yeah, the one without the face that sits in the back room in FNAF 2.
Yeah. And so that's why. So I'm like, who is Shadow Bonnie?
Well, this is also like a kind of complicated question to answer, especially like with where you are in the series. But I will do my best. Okay, so it's FNAF is so like confusing. So in one of the books, in one of the short stories, they did this thing where basically there's a story about this game developer that I don't remember all of the details, but it's about this game developer who he heard about these like murders, and like so he was paid to make a game based on these murders, and he went insane while he was making the game. And so supposedly the first 4 games are actual games. Yeah. So what happened, it's so crazy. So what happened is the first 4 games come out, and I will say this for the rest of my life, and I might do a more in-depth video about like this, which I don't know who would care about my opinions on FNAF theory. But he does the first 4 games, and after the 3rd game he's like, this is the last game. And then after the 4th game he's like, no, this is the last game, like I'm not doing anymore. And then he releases Sister Location. And so everyone's like, huh? And Sister Location is different because the gameplay is different in this one. Like, this is the first one where you have, like, roaming access. Which, it wasn't, like, super roaming access. It was limited. But this is the first game where it's, like, you're not, like, sitting in a chair pressing buttons.
Right.
Or, like, on a bed or, like, whatever. And so,
I mean, well, kind of 4, you kind of roamed around. Because you, like, run to, like, the closet and to right and left doors. Right,
but this, like, we were, like, going into, like, different rooms
and,
like, interacting with different characters
100%.
And stuff like that. And this game is the first one that, like, really leaned into kind of the absurdity of FNAF. Like, with the exotic butters and the teenage, like, over thing. Well, you haven't seen it, so I'm so sorry. But there's like when you go in, they ask you to input your name on this keyboard, but the keyboard is like glitching, right? And so you click it, and it's like,
I've seen a little bit.
We got what you wanted, and it's and what you selected was exotic butters, and so like that's a thing now, and like anyways, and then when you're like crawling in this vent, it's like you can choose between like 3 different types of like voiceovers to explain things to you, and one of them is an angsty teenager. And the angsty teenager is like, yeah, there was a body in here that, like, died, and, like, all of this stuff. And, and so it's like,
yeah, that's crazy.
Right, and so, like, this was the first game that kind of leaned into, like, I already said absurdity, but, like, yeah, the absurdity of FNAF, where it's like, now we're in not Sister Location, now we're in Security Breach, well, you get it, but, like, Security Breach is, like, there's a lot of moments in Security Breach that are like, that's crazy. Or like in oh my gosh, Pizza Simulator. I love Pizza Simulator because it has all those cutscenes of like Chica in being like the yandere, like crazy girl, like who like kills the people, and like, I'm sorry, I'm like ruining things for you.
Well, I'm still so confused, so like I'm just like picking up, like, yes, I get what you're picking up.
Yes,
but I think it will make a lot more when I see it.
So after FNAF 4, they kind of start to go in this different direction of, like, AI, where, like, now, like, Glitch Trap, because he's electronic, and then, like, I think all of the Help Wanted games, Help Wanted 1 especially, is a game within the world of FNAF. And that was the first time that had happened. Like, we hadn't figured out that the first 4 are probably games as well.
Sorry, I'm trying to find Glitch Trap up there.
Oh, I don't think he's on that one, actually.
Oh! Yeah,
because this is for FNAF Five Nights at Freddy's AR, which AR is, like, the handheld version of VR. So this is my point, is that because all of these are games within the world of FNAF, there are certain characters that are merchandise and not real. Does that make sense?
Okay, yes. Yeah, that makes sense.
So, like, Nightmare Marionette, it's like the puppet, but like different, like with different, like a different face. It's like a scarier version of the puppet.
That's the one in 3.
No, that's they add him in a DLC, I think.
Oh, okay.
If I remember correctly, like because after Sister Location comes Pizza Simulator, and then the DLC from Pizza Simulator is Ultimate Custom Night, where you can like add like the 2020 mode and like all of that stuff. And so there's a character like Nightmare Marionette where it's like, we've never seen this character in game, but this character is like in this game, and it's like, that's because now these characters are like actual characters, which is why they can do the crazy characters like Firework Freddy and Liberty Chica, which I have like Firework Freddy.
Yeah, they're literally up there. I was gonna say
they can do those because they're not canon to like the universe of FNAF, like to as we understand it, as like these are like real animatronics. They're canon as in like these are merchandise that they have made based on the Five Nights at Freddy's company within the world of FNAF.
That is so crazy.
Isn't that crazy? And like they retconned that because I mean they didn't want the series to end. And I mean like I personally think that Dream Theory, because you know a little bit about Dream Theory,
I know.
where the first 4 games were like supposed to be dreams. I personally think that like was what was supposed to happen.
Yeah, I mean, and they doubled about that in the movie too, because
Yeah.
they had like the little book.
That
was
was
crazy.
crazy.
I know. I saw the Dream Theory.
We saw
oh my
FNAF
God.
together. I think you
Yeah.
saw it with other people first, and then you went to go see it with me.
Because Sterling texted me and was like, "Hey, want to go see FNAF?"
I
was like,
literally I needed to go see it.
I was like, if there's anyone I want to go see it with, it's Sterling.
I
Because Sterling is
freaked
the
out.
biggest FNAF fan.
I am the biggest FNAF fan, and like part of me is like, oh no, you go for it. Part of me is like, there's a level of like there should be a level of like me being upset that they've like retconned this story and like they're not sticking true to like, but like I'm literally not. I'm like, okay, so we're doing AI now. Where's this gonna go? Like, what are you doing now? Which and like even with that, they switched. So Scott Cawthon made which we should talk about FNAF World, but we'll get into that in a minute. So when Scott Cawthon like stopped making the games, which I think Help Wanted was it was either Help Wanted or Security Breach, which was the first game that like Scott didn't make. He like oversaw
other people.
Yeah,
started
he
making
sold. Not. I don't know if he sold it, but like Steel Wool Studios is like the one that picked up the game, and so like now they make the game so that
I'm
he can
pretty
make.
sure it's Help Wanted.
I think so.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so it's like where are they going with the game now? And then like also there's an aspect of like you're doing the work to like understand FNAF theories from like way back in the day, like when I was in like 5th grade and stuff like that.
Yeah, I literally have to catch up so bad.
Right, but they're introducing all of this new lore so that like kids who want to get into FNAF today can get into FNAF without having to go back and do all of that.
Really?
Yeah, so like they could honestly probably start with either Security Breach or Help Wanted and like understand pretty well what's happening without because really we've kind of moved away from like if you think about it, like Marvel movies where like they have like the Infinity Saga and then like they ended that, so like in the Infinity Saga is like phase 1 through 4 and we're now on phase 5 and like 6. We've ended the first 4 phases of FNAF, and so like now we're on this like different arc where you really truly could pick up a FNAF game and like you could watch like FNAF theories about Help Wanted and Security Breach that could make sense without you knowing all of the knowledge about the first 4 games.
Yeah, because of course the first 4 games, which I'm watching the gameplays of for Markiplier, they focus a lot on Dream Theory because that originally was canon. It was supposed to be canon.
Well, people debate that, but yeah. Like a lot of people debate that because they didn't want it to happen. They were like, "No, Dream Theory is not a thing." But it's like,
but it literally
back,
was like, if you look at the gameplay of 4 and like the mini games of 4, it makes so much sense with Dream Theory.
Yes,
and the fact that like, if you're going back at the 6 a.m., that's when little kids wake up. Like, so it makes sense to be like in a dream for so long. Yeah, from 12 to 6, and then wake up, and that's like
and for
you're
like
getting out of the
and for
game.
it to like be a nightmare for him. Yeah, and so like I fully think, and then like do you know the stuff about the box? So Scott goes on, I don't remember if it was like Reddit or Tumblr or whatever, but he like goes on some form.
I love that he's so involved.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, he's so, and like he will do stuff like that where he'll mention stuff where like this will come in later, but like FNAF Into Madness. Okay. He was like saying that he was working on this game FNAF Into Madness, but like we have not gotten into Madness yet. And so one of John's from the channel FNAF, his theory is that like we are Into Madness, and like Into Madness is like this arc that we're going into right now. But anyways, he goes on like Tumblr or something like that, and he basically makes this blog post where he's like, I know what happens and it's locked in a box. And he says something about like a box, and what we were trying to figure out at the time is what is in the box. And he like has this, I'm actually going to look it up because he like has this line where he was like, will the community accept it the way that it is? And here, let me see if I can read it.
This is crazy, by the way.
Yeah, so the box is specifically for FNAF 4. He talks about how it's the FNAF 4 box. And, like, this is a picture of, like, what the box looks like. It's, like, just, like, perhaps some things are best left forgotten for now. Yeah, and I think...
Is that at the end of the game?
I think so. And, like, there's also a bunch of different stuff at the end of the game that, like... becomes very important later.
I know. Yeah, I still have to finish. 4 is really scary, guys. 4 is really scary, and it's hard to get through. But I love it.
This is the last paragraph of his Halloween content update of, like, what it says. So, actually, I think this was on Steam. Like, when you release it on Steam, it was, like, in the description of the game. Okay, so he goes, but then I realized part 4, and somehow, no one, not a single person, found the pieces. The story remains completely hidden. I guessed most people assumed that I filled the game with random Easter eggs this time. I didn't. What's in the box? It's the pieces put together. But the bigger question, would the community accept it that way? The fact that the pieces have remained elusive this time strikes me as incredible and special and a fitting conclusion in some ways. And because of that, I've decided maybe some things are best left forgotten forever.
What?
Yeah.
That's so, like, ominous, too.
Yes.
It's so, like,
and it's
end
like,
of Lord of the Rings or something.
I don't remember when this was, like, I don't remember when FNAF 4 came out. I think it was, like, 2012 or something like that.
I was going to say probably 2012.
Let me go look. 2015. Ooh, we were off.
Wow.
2015. So I would have been, like, God, I don't know. 14 question mark? I think. Okay, wait. I would have been 10 in 2014. So I was 11 when this happened. Yeah.
I was probably like 8.
That's crazy. I was 11 and I started being into FNAF in 5th grade specifically because I did a show at ALT. I got into FNAF when I did ALT because in the show Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, I would like go backstage with my friends and like they would like play FNAF 2 because FNAF 2 had just come out.
Oh
so
my gosh.
I jumped on it on FNAF 2. And so after that I was hooked because I had always like liked the more creepy like stuff like that and it never really scared me. Like I've never had a nightmare.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Knock on wood. I'm probably gonna have after watching 4. I'm probably gonna have nightmares, but I've never.
Yeah, like I had a dream one time when I was little that like I was playing the game, but like I wasn't like scared or anything, and I didn't wake up or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and so in 2015, I was 11,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like he's basically being like, it's over, and I'm never gonna tell you the answer.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What a great, like,
Yeah.
honestly, if you would have ended there, what a great way to end
Honestly,
the series.
I would not be mad either, but I'm also glad that it's become what it has because there's like more than like continuity within a story. It's like what people like about it is that there's a community, and that's what people like about a lot of things. And like I think this is a longer conversation for another episode. But I think that like there's a lot of prejudice against people finding community on apps and like making it weird because a lot of people don't like the FNAF community because the FNAF community is weird and like all of these things and we do.
So what?
Yeah.
I think it's so cool that people like make the animatronics. Like,
yes,
have you seen the
yes,
TikToks about
yes,
that?
yes,
I think
yes.
that's so cool.
I want to do that, but I don't want people to think I'm a furry. Which nothing wrong
No.
with being a furry, but I'm not a furry.
Right.
But
I don't think that makes you furry because furry is a different like genre.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you know of like cosplay.
I'm the punk rock furry. That's what this is. But anyways,
No, but that would be so cool.
yeah.
By the way.
And like it would be such a like and not even just like have the costume because I would never like wear it anywhere, but just like to have a project to build that I am excited to do.
Right.
Yeah, but with that, it's like so the rest of the games like are
just
almost like an
fun.
afterthought. So like
Yeah.
I definitely think that FNAF 1 he like had this mild backstory in mind and he was like
Right.
because do you know like how he started making the games?
Actually, no.
So he did this game called Chipper and Sons, which
Okay.
Chipper comes back later in FNAF World actually, and we'll talk about that in a minute.
Really?
Yeah, FNAF World is crazy. It's one of my favorite like little tidbits of FNAF lore because not everyone. Well, I mean like everyone knows about it, but not everyone like appreciates it for what it is.
Yeah.
But so he makes this game Chipper and Sons, and it's supposed to be like a horror game about this like woodchuck. I don't know, like a beaver. I don't know what. I don't know what. he
Oh
is.
wait, I think I've heard a little bit about this, but
Yes.
not like to the extent.
Well, it flops, like absolutely flops. And this is like he's trying to be like an indie game developer and
Right,
like,
of
do it for
course.
himself. And so it goes horribly wrong, like not horribly wrong, but it just like doesn't do anything. And so his last FNAF is his like last effort, the first game. And so he's
Right.
like, if this doesn't work, I'm going to go
yes,
get a
I heard
job.
about this. I
Yeah.
heard about this.
And for some reason, whatever happens, it goes absolutely viral. And I would totally 100% argue. No, I don't even think I would argue. I think it's a fact that if MatPat hadn't done a theory on FNAF, it wouldn't be what it is today. Like, I 100% believe that. Because he put on Twitter and he was like, should I do a theory about Slender Man or should I do a theory about Five Nights at Freddy's? And people voted for Five Nights at Freddy's. And now he's become, like, this, like, titan, almost, like, knows everything about FNAF kind of thing. You know what I mean?
And he was right about a lot of things.
Hi, Riley. Anyways, sorry for the brief interruption. We are back.
Hey, we're back.
What were we talking about?
You were talking about FNAF 1 and MatPat.
Oh, yes!
Like,
How
yeah.
he totally, if MatPat had not made that theory, FNAF would not be what it is today.
100%.
And, like, that's crazy to me, because, that's another thing about it being so sad that he's retiring, is that
He had a huge impact on
yes,
the internet.
and not even just, like, on gaming YouTube, but just, like, on, like you said, the internet in general. And it's like when Jenna Marbles left. It's like the same thing where
Oh
it's
my
like
gosh.
devastating. Like, we have lost a soldier.
Right.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, and so Chipper and Sons doesn't work out, and he's like, if I do FNAF, like, if this doesn't work, I'm going back to whatever. And so I think that the first 4 games are, like, the first game he had, like, a rough outline of, like, what he wanted to do with it. Mm-hmm. And then he said, once it was successful, he said, okay, I'm going to put thought into the backstory and do what I think I want the backstory to do. And I think that lasted him the 4 games. And then he realized, he was like, I could do this for longer. I could do better.
People want more, let's do it.
Yeah, and so he's like, what if I find a way to make all of the first 4 games a dream? What if they're a dream? Oh! Because really, even with the books,
Do I need to read the books too?
I read the first 2. I've read The Silver Eyes and The Fourth Closet.
That's crazy.
I've read the first 2 and not the third one. Well, and also there's like 20 books now, because there's
I was gonna
there's
say,
the ones
every time I go into Target, there's like 70.
Yeah, because they're like releasing them like once every month, and each book has like 3 short stories in it. And the short stories are fun, and they're more like they almost feel like fan fiction in the way of like these are like little side stories to like the main universe.
Wait.
Like, does that make sense?
Yeah, wait, quick question.
Yes.
Did you ever read fan fiction? Be honest.
Not about FNAF.
Okay.
I was never a FNAF fan fiction girl.
You
You were a FNAF fan fiction?
You did FNAF, but Harry Potter fan fiction.
Oh hell yeah.
Me too. Okay. I loved fan fiction. I thought it was
loved
so. Some
fan
people like
fiction.
on Wattpad, they are really talented.
Yes.
There's this one Harry Potter fan fiction that I would always go back to. It's about Tom Riddle and like his origin story. It's such a great plot. So basically, Harry Potter just stays dead, and so this girl has to go back in time to kill Tom Riddle.
I read that.
It's called Catharsis, and she ends up falling in love with him, and it's so good. It's so good, and I always I might go back and read it. It's that good.
As much as I was like a hater when I finished reading the books, I read Hermione fanfic. Like,
Hey.
Hermione. And the one fanfic I couldn't read was Ron and Hermione. For some reason.
No,
I was like,
honestly-
that doesn't feel right.
The one canon tip in the movie.
Honestly, Ron and
Did
Hermione
you see
like
that
crazy.
Did you see that J.K. Rowling was like, Hermione should have been with Harry? Are you kidding? Girl, you wrote the book!
Yeah, but honestly, okay, if you watch the movies too, like in the books, you kind of get it, but in the movies, you were like, oh, why not? Like they literally could have put them together, and Ron is such a butthole.
Well, and Emma...
He's so much better in the book.
Yeah, he is so
Yeah.
much better in the book. And so is Ginny. Ginny's like kind of annoying in the movies,
Yes.
and hey,
And she's like a girl boss in the book.
yeah, she's awesome in the books.
What are we talking about?
Your mom.
Nothing. I'll kill you, bitch.
Well, and Emma
yeah,
Emma
she's
Watson,
better in
is that
books,
she said that like it felt wrong, like to do like kiss scenes and stuff with what's his face.
I shipped Ron and Hermione 100%.
Yeah.
Reading the books.
No, not Daniel Radcliffe, the other guy, the guy who played
Oh,
Ron.
Rupert Grint?
Yeah,
Well, she would have felt the same about kissing.
probably.
No,
Probably,
she
because
definitely
they're like at that point they were like siblings, like
That's
they're
crazy.
I wonder if they still talk, like if they still hang
They
out. Like,
do.
hey guys, let's have a wine night, you know?
A wine night is crazy.
I know the guys who played one of the twin brothers and the other guy who played their like best friend. They also
The other twin, they hang out.
no, not
It's almost like they're brothers. It's like
they weren't related. They didn't know each other before the process.
they actually were born from 2 separate mothers, but they look the exact same.
Riley and I.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, we're back again.
Hey.
We'll see how I decide to edit this. Oh, okay.
You should definitely add that in.
Well, I don't know what
pickle ASMR earlier. Pickles. It was a nice little crunch.
Oh, okay.
I have the
The juice?
Yeah,
No,
okay.
Anyways, but
Should we crack
That's
open the
really
drinks
messed up, and I was like, oh.
oh my gosh. Should
while
we?
we talk about it?
Yes. Okay, go get the drinks. Go get the
Okay, I'm
drinks.
getting the
Wait,
drinks.
wait. Oh, it's fine. It's
Okay.
fine. We accidentally stopped
Okay,
it for a
Sterling,
second.
I'll get it.
Okay.
You continue.
What was I talking about?
FNAF 1.
Yeah, so after FNAF 4, he deadass was like, oh, people want more, so therefore I will make another story. What is it?
Fighting in the group chat.
Riley's fighting for her
I was
life
fighting
for-
tooth and nail in the group chat trying to convince you.
This is literally real. Like, I paid for this.
Okay, we're about to crack
She
them
used
open.
real adult money on that.
Before,
Oh, it was only $6.
I was gonna go into the books. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah, books.
Okay, so before we go into the books, we are gonna adult money is crazy. we are gonna sip these. Okay,
I
there's
was just
security
curious,
breach.
like, you know, like impulse decision. I was like, I really want to try it.
Oh, cause did you see my story?
Your shirt?
Yes.
Yes.
Sick as hell, right?
Sick as hell, yeah.
Thank you.
Again, it literally just says.
Well, okay.
security
Also,
breach.
look at Glamrock Freddy in the back here. He's like they like did what they do with the Marvel posters. You know what I'm talking about?
I saw the beginning.
Where it's like he's like Iron Man in the back, and like Thanos is back here. It's like, what is this?
I watched the Ray play.
the
Security
Ray
breach.
play.
Yeah.
the Ray play.
No, Lorray.
Oh, Lorray.
Yeah, I
was
watched
like,
the
I thought
replay,
You, I thought you said replay it wrong.
Security breach. And while who is his face? Gregory.
Gregory.
While he was being like
Gregory.
really mean.
Yeah.
Wait, I have to pull it up. I have to pull it up to show you because it's so funny.
I definitely, you know that audio of Nicki Minaj where she's like, what does she say? She says, "Get out of my way, you stupid fucking dinosaur!" I see that, and I see Gregory saying that to like Monty or whatever.
Gregory is so sassy.
Yeah.
Like, and for what?
Well, and also it's weird because he was so successful. Like that was the first time that we had like introduced a character that we got to see, that wasn't an animatronic. Like he's the first human. Well,
I wonder.
supposedly
I
human.
wonder who. Like, wait, because who plays the first games?
I don't know what you mean by that.
Wait, hold on. Let me go back.
Here, wait.
Hold on.
Nervous.
Guys, y'all have to hear it too.
Already. I am experiencing malfunction. The recharge cycle is not complete.
Will you shut up?
Will you shut up?
As long as he's not yelling at me, I'm gonna assume that Gregory is white because the tone of his voice.
Will you shut up?
He is so sassy, and like the thing about him that's like,
Okay, let's crack it open.
yeah, the thing. Oh, yeah. Okay, the thing about him that's like new for FNAF is he's the first character that like is supposedly human. Like he's like the first one that's not an animatronic that we see.
Why am I scared?
Okay, this is okay. What is it called again?
Cherry-
Night Watch Cherry Lime Drink.
Security.
Does it have
breach.
a like expiration date on it? It's caffeine free. Okay, for all your little kids.
Yeah. So
Good for
Hot
children.
Topic.
Okay, ready?
$4.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, it's nothing good. I mean, like it's fine.
It's something like I wouldn't
It
spend
tastes like-
$4 on it again, but like it's good.
If you got a cherry limeade from Sonic,
I
let the
was gonna
ice
say-
melt, and then came back the next day and drank it.
I've actually never had a cherry limeade from Sonic.
You're weird. You're weird.
I'm sorry. I love the blue coconut slushy, so that's all I get. Yeah. Blue coconut slushy plus strawberries. It's exactly like the Shark Week slushy without the gummies.
I love that. I love that for you.
That was my favorite drink that they had, and they didn't bring it back last time, and I was upset.
Can you
My
are?
favorite thing they have is the cake batter shakes they bring back like seasonally.
Of course, your favorite thing.
Did you see the like chocolate chip and brownie butter,
Yes.
like brownie? I had that the other day. Kenzie got it, and I had a little bite.
Was it good?
It was really good.
Yum. Well, okay, back to the books. sorry, everyone. Back to
Sorry.
the books. The books are okay. So the books, they really start with they start.
really good.
Yeah. Did you say it's really good?
Yeah,
It's growing on you?
I really like it.
Okay, so you would spend $4 on it.
If they lower the price, if they sold this in retail for like $2, I'll get it.
Okay.
I think it's literally because of the sticker.
Well, it's not. Oh, it is a sticker. Wait, maybe I'll peel the sticker off and I'll hang it on my wall. Anyways, but okay, so the books really start with sister location. Like,
Yeah, that's
like so it's frustrating. Not frustrating, but it's one of those things where it's like, okay, so we're basically going to at some point retcon the first 4 games, which they did because they went back and they were like, oh, but what if they were all a simulation from a game developer who went crazy and like, you know.
And that's where Shadow Bunny comes in. Right.
Well, I mean, Shadow Bunny is in the second game because Shadow Bunny is more like a glitch, like that would happen every once in a while. So like, you know how like Golden Freddy would pop up, and like a lot of people debated whether Shadow Bunny was real at first because a lot of times people would either like edit something to make it look like something, or like there was one thing
I'm
during
looking it up to see Shadow Bunny edit.
well, I think Shadow Bunny is real, so people wouldn't edit it, but like there was one thing during Help Wanted, the Halloween DLC.
Oh yeah, this thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Did that ever happen in? I can't remember if it happened in Markiplier's gameplay.
Well, it's super rare, and so I don't know if it did or not.
Yeah,
and
I don't
there's
think it
there's a super rare event that happens in Help Wanted Curse of Dreadbear DLC, where it's like you have to get all 3 like clown posters, and then you have to hit all 3 clown posters on the nose for it to like do this like it's me thing that's like a reference to Golden Freddy. And so because it was so rare, everyone thought that this guy was lying about it, but then people went and like jailbroke the game and saw that it was actually in the code and like stuff like that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and so for a while it was like, well, is that real and stuff,
Right.
but then like again it's like, well, it's a dream, so it doesn't matter if it's real because, you know, he's like hallucinating, blah, and like that. Every misstep can be disregarded as a dream, which now it can be disregarded as like, oh, it's just a game. They were making a game based on like these stories to
Crazy.
right. So like the idea is that like the murders actually happened. So like the Five Nights
murders actually happened, but
as a way to fix the PR, or like to like get the public back on their side, or like to do like whatever
back on whoever said. So like William
Yeah.
Afton is like the guy who's killing
yes. So
these
William
kids.
Afton is real.
Okay.
And so is
is the
his
other-
kids, and so is
the
like
other guy.
yeah. So the assumption is that like the characters in the books are real, but what we assume happened is that, well, they say this in Help Wanted. The first one is that like we are making this game to make light of these murders that happened, to basically be like, see, like we're like they're capitalizing off of it, but also they're trying to like be like, no, like we're making a fun game, and like you're like us, like you like us again, like we're not bad, like you should like us and you should spend money on us, trying to like save their business. And so what we're assuming is that like they hired the game developer to do that for the first 4 games, and then like he goes crazy and starts like implementing stuff that he's not supposed to, like. And yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah, and so Sister Location really is where like the lore that we like know and base everything off of today starts, because it starts with Baby, which in the book, I don't remember if the book came out after or before Sister Location, but it came out before Sister Location. I think because you go and you like find out that in the book you find out at the end of the first book, you find out that Charlie is a robot. Yeah. Which, spoiler, sorry, Queen. Which, you find
I
out
don't even know who Charlie is yet.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, so that's not technically a spoiler.
Yeah, well, so Charlie is supposedly, like, the...
Oh, the other guy's kid.
Henry
dies.
Emily. That's what we call him. Yeah.
Henry and Emily.
Emily.
But, yeah. So, okay.
So
So
there's
Emily is Charlie, but not Charlie. Or it's... No, because I thought Emily died, because William killed her.
Emily is... So her name is Charlotte Emily. Her last name is Emily, which the last name is like never confirmed, but we like there's just kind of a group consensus that it's like Henry Emily, which I don't remember where that comes from, but that's what the consensus is. But so what happens in the book is she has this group of friends, and they all come home from college or something like that, and they go back to the old pizzeria that's been closed down because, like, you know, they're like breaking in, and it's weird because they have this whole story, which it's so weird because they've weirdly planned so well from that book. But I remember thinking that it was insane. Like, I remember having such a hard time reading this book because they were introducing so many things that, like, they go to this mall, like a mall that is being used, like a populated mall, and they crawl through, like, a wall, and they end up on the roof of the pizzeria that they knew when they grew up, and they go through the roof, like they army crawl on the roof. It's like they built the wall around it and built a box around the pizzeria and closed it. And then they go into the if I'm remembering correctly, it's been a while since I read it, but
Right.
they go into the pizzeria from like a vent or something, and so then they're in the pizzeria and they're stuck in there. And I remember, I wish they included this in the movie. I remember there was a part that I read that for some reason I thought it was really scary, and this is like one of the only things that I remember from the book is that this character named Carlton, he is like hiding in the bathroom from one of the animatronics. I think it's Bonnie, and Bonnie is like coming like looking for him in the bathroom and like goes under the stall and like reaches under the stall to get for him. Yeah.
Oh my god, that's
super scary.
That's
Super
in a
scary.
game?
That's in a book. That's in one of the books.
Oh, yeah.
Nightmare. I remember thinking that was really scary. And so in the book they go and they meet this guy named Dave, and they're like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" And he's like, "Well, I'm a security guard. Like, I'm supposed to be here. I'm a security guard." And later they talk about how he has like all these gnarly scars all over his body, and his body looks like it's been like ripped apart. And then sorry, I'm like, but FNAF lore for you. You find out later that Dave is William Afton, and that the scars from him are from the spring lock. Yeah.
See you in an hour.
Bye, Morgan.
That is insane.
I love you.
Love you guys.
I
I'm filming
know.
a FNAF podcast.
I
Thanks.
will. Anyway, so you find out that he's William Afton, and that he's going by the pseudonym Dave. And Charlie, at the beginning of the book, she has this really confusing story at the beginning of the book where she talks about how like she had a twin brother, and the twin brother was like taken, and she doesn't have a twin brother anymore.
Yeah.
Twin brother was taken, and like it was really hard on her family and all of this stuff. But she remembers her twin brother Sammy. That was his name, is Sammy. And then there's there's like a couple other characters. There's like John, and like John likes Charlie, and like all of this stuff. But what ends up happening is that Charlie goes to her house, and she like goes back to her room, and she has 4 closets. She has a little closet, a big closet, a big closet, a big closet. Like they get taller, and she somehow falls through some floor and ends up in a secret room that has like piles of dirt, where she's like, what is that? And then the animatronics like come out of the dirt and like they kill her. She dies. And John thinks that she's dead. And it's like this really sad moment, and it's like, oh, that sucks.
And that happens in the book?
Mm-hmm. All of this is, if I remember correctly, all of this happens in the first book. Because I think I started reading the second book, and I just couldn't do it, and so I stopped reading it. But all of this happens in the first book. And then, but at the very end of the book, she shows back up, and John is like, Charlie, how are you here? And she looks a little bit older, and all of this stuff, and you find out that Charlie is a robot, and Sammy never existed. Charlie is the one who died, and Henry made a robot of her to grow up because he was mourning his child. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Isn't that
That's
crazy?
really crazy.
Yeah, and it's like one of those
So
things where it's like, I did not see that coming kind of thing. But,
Interesting.
yeah, and so then, like, the whole thing with Gregory being a robot comes in, where it's like, we've never had a robot child in the games. We've only had robot children in the books. And so when the books first started coming out, there was a whole controversy of, like,
Sorry, I'm just thinking about that Lorraine thing. It's like, he even has Freddy Gag. Like, that edit where Freddy's like...
he's like, shut up!
And he's like...
Or I loved after Security Breach came out, I loved the Freddy, you're supposed to be on lockdown. But Vanessa. We would just like start sobbing.
Or when everybody had the Vanessa. Oh, what else? They had the edit of Freddy on TikTok for a while. Like, it went viral.
Yeah.
It's like, Freddy. Da-da-da-da-da-da. But Vanessa.
Well, they edited him to say like multiple things.
Yeah.
Which one are you talking about?
I can't remember what he said.
I liked the one where he started crying. There was another one
I'm gonna look it up.
that I liked. Yeah, they were really funny. Where he was like, it was something about Gangnam Style. Anyways, but
I'm
with
finding it.
yeah, you'd find it. But with the introduction of the books, there was a big argument on whether the books were canon and linear, or canon to the game universe, or whether they were separate to the game universe. And Scott Cawthon came out on like on Reddit or wherever he comes out with this stuff. He comes out and he's like, "Hey everyone, the books are a different universe than the games, but they can be used to solve pieces of the puzzle in the games." And so when Gregory was first introduced as a character, everyone was like, is he a robot or is he a human? Because there were like certain things in the game that made you think that he was a robot.
Freddy, You're supposed to be on lockdown.
Vanessa.
No, that's not the one I wanted.
That one's not funny. Sorry. There's like a couple like Oh, there's the one that does the Gangnam Style thing with Adam Sandler where he goes, "Freddie, you're supposed to be on lockdown." "But Vanessa, I'm waiting for them to play Gangnam Style." Like, you know how like
Yes!
the Adam Sandler one? Very funny.
There's
Here, let's see with this one.
this one.
Oh, yes, this one's very funny.
Freddie, you're supposed to be on lockdown.
Vanessa, I'm a material girl.
I love that. My favorite one was the one where he would just start sobbing because I was like, me too, Freddie, honestly.
Wait, let me look at that one up.
He goes, "But Vanessa."
Freddie, you're supposed to be on lockdown.
Freddie, you're supposed to be on lockdown. Me.
That's crazy. Wait,
Yeah.
Where's the one where he's crying? Whatever, I can't find it. We can't find it. So.
Well, anyways, the books, like, they came to the conclusion that the books and probably the movies, he hasn't really spoke on this, but the books and probably the movies, like, run in a parallel universe to the games, and so information that's in the books is not always, like, 100% accurate to what happens in the games, but they can be used to solve each other.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and it's also super confusing.
Yeah.
But anyway, so all of that stuff happens with Charlie, and so what we assume is that Charlie's soul...
Put my foot up here.
Oh, yeah,
Get
go
a
for
little-
it. Yeah, get comfy.
Get comfy.
What we assume is that Charlie's soul comes and takes over the puppet. And so the puppet is Henry's daughter. Yeah. And so then, like, there's the whole, like, save them minigame, which I'm sure you've already seen.
Yes.
Yes, and how, like, they go through, like, Charlie goes through, because Charlie was the first one to die, like, the first killing. And there's a lot of questions around, like, why she was killed the way she was, because all of the rest of them were, like, led back into a back room and stuffed into a bodysuit, and it's like, no, she was killed out in the street, you know? And the reason the marionette is, like, Charlie's soul is in the marionette is because the marionette's job was to protect everyone.
Right.
And so she goes outside of the Pizzaplex, dies, and then, like...
Well, because the bullies locked her out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I remember that.
Yeah, and then
That's
the purple car comes, and...
Purple car
yeah.
comes and she dies, and she's in
Right.
the back alley.
And so, but then how that, like, specific story of, like, the Silver Eyes leads into Sister Location is that they have... The way it's described is that they have these, like, beads coming off of them, like it'll be like a stick and then a circle on top coming off of them, and they're called sound illusion discs. And the whole I mean, it's very sci-fi. Like, the whole idea is that they emit a sound that causes your brain to see something that's not there. And so supposedly the animatronics in FNAF 4, like the really scary ones with, like, the teeth in there, like all of that stuff,
That was all in his head.
they're illusions.
Oh, that's
made
really good.
made to scare him. Yeah, and then you go into Sister Location, and if you do this, like, certain thing with Innard and, like, complete this, like, one, so, like, you know how it's not really a traditional FNAF game. At the end, if you go into this room, I think, if I remember correctly, it's in Foxy's, like, little area. If you go into the room, you get there without Foxy catching you, you play one night of Five Nights at Freddy's with Innard chasing you. Yeah, of, like, the classic game. And then at the very end, if you, like, do all of this stuff correctly, it'll show, like, the cameras on the front, and it'll be the room from FNAF 4. Like, the kids' room and the hallway from the house.
Insane.
Yeah. And then, like, also at the very end of at the end of FNAF 4, after every night, you know how you'll go home and, like, the person will be watching the vampire show. It's like, the baby is not mine. That
That's
whole thing.
supposed to be like William Afton, right? Like his life and how he, like, got separated from his wife.
Yeah, because supposedly what happens is the lore is so confusing that
Yeah,
sometimes
there's just,
there's
like, so
definitely
much
some stuff
lore.
I could be wrong about, but what I think, I'm pretty sure what happens is that, like, he loses his daughter.
To Circus Baby.
Yes. Because he's, like, making... And with... Okay, so they introduced this thing called Remnant, which is, like...
Yes, which is a part of somebody's soul, and that's
like
what
soul
goes to
juice.
live in the animatronics to
Right,
make it
and
a
so
ghost.
yeah, and so it's like metal fused soul juice that like makes them what they are, and so
Which I like that they kept in the movie.
yes, it's like I don't know where they're going with it though, because
Yeah, because I would say, like,
it almost takes the it's like they're trying to take the heat off of Afton and give him a little bit of a redemption arc, because they're being like, well, he's only killing people because he's trying to bring his daughter back.
would bring his daughter back. In the movie, but isn't Vanessa his daughter?
Yeah, so that actually was
It's not canon in the books, or, like...
right.
Yeah,
and so like
because that's different.
yes, and so the question of like, oh, it's so confusing.
This is so me.
She is. I love her. Actually, I think my iPad was on 15% when
What
we
if it
started
died?
recording. Yeah, I'm gonna look. Oh, she is so dead. Well, that's okay.
That's okay, we have it on here.
Yeah, I was about to say. Okay, so this is about to be just audio.
Just audio, which means we
Um,
can get nice, close up, close and personal.
Yes, of course.
My
Anyways,
breath stinks, don't tell me. Does it smell like... Does it smell like 5 Nights at Freddy's
Oh my
Cherry
gosh.
Lime Night Watch?
yes, it does.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Anyways, but sister location is really when the lore starts to get like, huh?
Crazy, yeah,
Because
I
we
was,
don't
like,
know, like,
very confused.
We still don't know, like, well, I mean, we do, but it's like still one of those things that like people debate about is like when the circus animatronics were made,
Yeah.
because they're technically Springlock suits. We think some people think it's debated whether they're Springlock suits, but in like with the set of theories that I follow, they are Springlock suits, and so that would place them like earlier with the like original like golden suits, like the golden
Yeah.
suits. But so what happens in sister location is like that happens, and like you find out that and then in the second book we find out that under Charlie's childhood home is the sister location bunker. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, and so what I was trying to explain before we got off on our little side tangent is that, you know how at the end you go and you see like the child's not mine, that whole thing.
Yeah.
And then how at the end of the game, Ennard, you've seen Ennard, right?
I know a little bit about Ennard
Let
because
me-
of the lore.
Let me pull up a picture of him.
Ennard is the one with all of it, right? Because
I don't think he's on that poster.
I don't think, but he's the one with like all of this stuff.
Yeah, this one. So
This
he's
guy.
like the amalgamation of all of them, all
It's
four
crazy,
of them.
which is super terrifying, by the way.
Yeah, he's weird. But at the end, if you've like survived the last night, at the end you'll be sitting watching your TV with your basket of his exotic butters, and he like creeps onto the screen from the side, like he's in your house. And people were like, well, how did he get in the house? If it's because the bunker is under the house. Yeah, and
That's
so
insane.
yeah, and so back to like the sound illusion discs and stuff. It's like people think that there's a running theory that the nightmare animatronics, like the ones that are like Freddy with like the big teeth and
Yeah.
like the scary ones,
Terrifying.
that they were always just like Baby and Ballora. Yeah, and that they were using sound illusion to make it look like. And then another theory is that Baby is Charlie, like, is the Charlie robot, and that they're constantly using sound illusion to make Charlie look human.
What?
Yeah.
That's insane.
It's crazy. And then like that leads into security breach because so the next game after that is FNAF 6, which is Pizza Simulator. And Pizza Simulator is like that went back to the roots of like FNAF, like you would play a night every night and all of this stuff, but like
Yeah.
you were like trying to build your business and all of this stuff. But what was weird about it was that in the map there all of like the vents that they would crawl through, they never connected to the main room. So they were just crawling through the vents. And so part of the plot is that you're trying to find the animatronics, you're trying to draw them to your location and then get them to like come be in your warehouse basically. Like they're out on the streets because at the end of security breach you get scooped and Ennard goes into your body. And so the idea is that like now these animatronics are like out in the wild, and so they're trying. You're playing supposedly as Michael Afton, his son. So and then like supposedly you're playing as Michael in Sister Location as well, because like there's a certain lines where Baby is like, I wasn't expecting you and stuff like that, because she was expecting Afton, and like there are better videos to watch like to talk about that, but
that'll come with like me getting later into the series, I bet.
Yeah, and so
I'm gonna literally when I get back, I'm gonna start watching
yes,
again.
I love FNAF, and so at the end of Sister Location, after all of that has happened, you see this like after you've been scooped and you know all of that stuff, you see this cutscene of like this guy walking, and he's walking and it's great, and then he's walking and he's a little bit more purple, and people are starting to look at him.
Ennard entered
his
and
body.
then the body was like rotting, so he had to like exit.
Well, and Michael throws him up, and then he goes into the sewer, and
then he like.
But then Michael like survives.
Yeah, then
but
he
like
somehow
he
comes.
Yeah, he's not
human.
supposed to have any of his guts or anything.
Yeah,
but
it's
so,
really interesting.
anyways, but you know, for the sake of the lore, we're gonna be like, yeah, he survived. Obviously, he survived.
Yeah, sure.
Duh. Why wouldn't he survive? Anyways, but so then in FNAF 6, supposedly you are playing as I want to play you this monologue so bad because it's one of the most badass moments of FNAF.
What?
Yes, it's so good. So at the end, so the premise of FNAF 6 is I can't wait for you to watch it. It's very good.
Wait, which is FNAF 6?
A pizza simulator.
Oh.
So this is the one where like you're trying to like you're setting up the pizza place, but like you're also trying to draw in the animatronics. Like one of them is like Scrap Baby. One of them is Funtime Freddy. One of them is Funtime Freddy.
Yeah, because I remember I was like, because I don't remember Funtime Freddy being, when did Funtime Foxy was in Sister Location, and I was like, I thought that originally Funtime Freddy was in 2, but I was like, no, that's not Funtime Freddy.
So,
That's is that Toy Freddy.
Yes. So all the toy animatronics are FNAF 2. FNAF 3 is like which FNAF 3 supposedly happens like, if I remember correctly, that supposedly happens in 2023. But again, like the first 4 games are dreams, and like you know, so we don't really care about those anymore. But and then FNAF 4 is the nightmares, and then Sister Location is the circus animatronics and the fun times. So like it's Circus Baby, and like people don't call her Circus Ballora because there's not another variation but Circus Ballora, and then like the fun times are the ones where their face is open. So that's how, because they have like this.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
So those are the fun times, and what's interesting is that there was no fun time Chica, and so a lot of people were like, "Where's Chica?" And there's lore surrounding that, which we can talk about in a minute. But so you're trying to draw in the
all
animatronics.
The people, yeah.
So you're trying to draw in all the animatronics, and what you find out at the end, like if you've done it correctly and you've drawn in all of the animatronics, what you find out at the end is that you were employed supposedly by Henry Emily in order to destroy and set free the spirits in the animatronics. And so at the end of FNAF 6, there's this monologue where he's talking about I'm just gonna play it for you. FNAF.
I feel like I've heard.
6.
It's like when it's burning, right? And then
it's
Henry Emily.
genuinely one of like the it's like a moment in FNAF where it's like, oh, that was cool. Like, okay, let's see, is this it? Yeah, it's 3 minutes long, so sorry. If you don't want to listen to it, then you can leave.
With Sephora's, you played right into our hands. Did you really think that this job just fell out of the sky for you?
That's terrifying. I might pee my pants.
This was a gift for us. You gathered them all together in one place.
This is
Just
Circus
like
Baby.
he asked you to.
Well, technically that's Scrap Baby, because like the idea is that Baby was like on the streets, and because she was part of Ennard and then like separated for Ennard, she had to use scraps of trash to put herself back together.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so-
Okay, I saw that.
Yeah,
one.
and so she looks different, but it's like the same spirit in
All of those
Circus
little
Baby.
souls in one
Yeah, that was fun
place.
time.
Just for us. A gift. Now we can do what we were created to do. And be complete. I will make you proud, Daddy. Watch. Listen. And be full.
Connection terminated. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Elizabeth. If you still even remember that name. But I'm afraid you've been misinformed. You are not here to receive a gift, nor have you been called here by the individual you assume although you have indeed been called. You have all been called here, into a labyrinth of sounds and smells, misdirection and misfortune. A labyrinth with no exit, a maze with no prize. You don't even realize that you are trapped. Your lust for blood has driven you in endless circles, chasing the cries of children in some unseen chamber, always seeming so near, yet somehow out of reach. But you will never find them. None of you will. This is where your story ends. And to you, my brave volunteer, who somehow found this job listing not intended for you. Although there was a way out planned for you, I have a feeling that's not what you want. I have a feeling that you are right where you want to be. I am remaining as well. I am nearby. This place will not be remembered, and the memory of everything that started this can finally begin to fade away,
What?
as the agony of every tragedy should.
Oh my god.
And to you monsters trapped in the corridors, be still, and give up your spirits. They don't belong to you. For most of you, I believe there is peace, and perhaps more, waiting for you after the smoke clears. Although for one of you, the darkest pit of hell has opened to swallow you whole. So don't keep the devil waiting, old friend. My daughter, if you can hear me,
Old
I
friend,
knew
he
you
said.
would return as well. It's in your nature to protect the innocent. I'm sorry that on that day, the day you were shut out and left to die, no one was there to lift you up into their arms the way you lifted others into yours. And then, what became of you? I should have known you wouldn't be content to disappear. Not my daughter. I couldn't save you then,
Oh, that's
so let me save you now. It's time to rest, for you and for those you have carried in your arms. This ends, for all of us, in communication.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
The Golden Freddy, isn't that the one who was like the kid who was decapitated?
Yes, Golden. Well, you know, we assume Golden Freddy is the crying child. And yeah, isn't that awful? And that's yeah. Yeah. I think that's the rest of it. I think it's just, yeah. So that is like, and that's another moment where they were like, this is the end of FNAF. FNAF 6 is the last game. And then they were like, but what if we do a FNAF 7? Like,
And that's where Help Wanted comes?
yeah. Help Wanted is 7, Security Breach is 8, Help Wanted 2 is 9. Which is crazy that there's 9 games. But, yeah, and so like,
That
would have been a
crazy and
fire
intense.
ending. Yeah.
Again, another great way to end. Because, like, if they had stopped at 4 with that box, great ending.
Yeah.
If they had stopped there with that ending monologue, which is so
That
epic,
monologue
by the way.
is like, oh my god.
And as you're saying, like, you guys who are listening, you guys should definitely go and watch that because, oh my god, I can't wait to watch it, like, and see, like, the whole thing.
Yes. And it's like, I haven't seen that, like, in years probably because I, you know, like, I have a life outside of FNAF. And so,
Right.
watching that for, again, like, I forgot some of the visuals where I literally was like, oh, that's horrible. That's horrible. Like, the part where he's like, my daughter, you who, and then, like, okay, so after that, the next, like, installment of FNAF is the FNAF 6 DLC Ultimate Custom Night, which, like, 2020, like,
Which is where Shadow Bonnie comes in.
I think so. I think Shadow Bunny is one of the, characters that you can play as.
Oh, you can play as the characters.
Yeah, well, so you can't play as the characters. Let me go look up the list of the Ultimate Custom Night characters. Because, here, wait.
This is crazy. Like, all this stuff.
That monologue is one of my favorite moments.
I'm
in
so
FNAF.
excited. I'm going to go back and watch. Like, literally. I'm so excited. And I'm only
Don't
on
fall
4.
asleep.
I'm not going to fall asleep.
Okay. I might have been wrong that Shadow Bunny is one of the people you can play as. I think Shadow Bunny is not one of the people you can play as. But Shadow Bunny becomes, like, Shadow Bunny becomes basically the same as, like, Firework Freddy or, like, you know, like their merchandise within the world of FNAF, if that makes sense.
Shadow Bonnie is pretty freaking scary.
Yeah.
If there's one that, like, really sticks out, it's Shadow Bonnie. Like, I always look at that one. And then who's that Foxy, the green one?
So that's a Foxy from the Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted DLC Curse of Dreadbear. Yeah, I think it's like radioactive Foxy or something. And there's this like
Interesting.
corn maze that he chases you around. And
Oh my god, that's
Yeah.
scary.
yeah, it is scary. But you have to like hide behind these things and everything, and it's cool. It's like it's one of the cooler like
Yeah.
DLCs the Halloween update is.
What do
but-
you think is like, in your opinion, like the scariest game? Because I have my, but also I'm like just watching it, so like you
Yeah.
probably like know.
Well, I've actually only ever played FNAF 2, a little bit of Security Breach, and a little bit of Help Wanted.
FNAF 2, by the way, is the hardest game.
Yeah.
Like I think that was the longest one that I watched. It took me so long to get through that one because Markiplier always was dying.
Yeah.
But it was a hard game. It's a hard game, and they have it on VR. No,
Mhm.
I will never play it on VR because it's so hard. It's so hard. You think it's hard on the
Yeah.
computer? It's hard on VR. Personally, I would say the third one because of the jump scares.
Yeah.
And
I think that
like the phantoms.
yeah, the Phantoms are crazy. Specifically, I think that FNAF VR 3 is the scariest because have you seen let me pull it up for you because it's crazy, because I remember that when Matt Pat was watching it, like playing it, he like freaked out for a sec, but then he like calmed down and he was like, oh, that's cool, because you know how when
I love Matt
Springtrap
Pat. I miss
when
him already.
yes, he's not even gone yet. We're like,
I know.
Matt,
We're
come
like,
back.
Matt, please.
and how he like crawls through that vent and that's how he gets you.
Yeah.
That's like animated in the VR. Here, wait, okay, FNAF 3 VR Springtrap. He like crawls through the vent in this way that's like it's honestly like a piece of art. So the vent's right there. You see him? And he's like crawling, and like you can see him crawling. This is what I like. That right there is the scariest to me. Like that is so scary. But I also
Me still
never.
screaming.
I
I
also
knew it was coming too, and I was like,
I also never really thought that the games themselves were scary. Like, I'm super cool.
I think you're just really super cool and super
Yeah, I'm
advanced.
not like other girls, and so I didn't really think they were scary. But I think that like one of my favorite sequences in all of FNAF is the daycare sequence when the daycare attendant is like chasing you and you're like trying to get through. I think that sequence is so tense, and like I remember watching Matt Pat play it live. I woke up. It was my senior year. I woke up at 8 a.m. in the morning to watch Matt Pat play live. Yeah, because I went to bed at midnight the night
I love
before.
how you got closer to
I know. I was like, the night before I watched the live stream because it came out the same night as Spider-Man: Far From Home. Not even No Way Home. It came out the same night as No Way Home, one of the best Spider-Man movies, and I was clocked in at my house watching GT Live. I literally was like, I will be watching FNAF Security Breach
Bye.
Part 1.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
And so I'm sitting there watching, and he's like, okay, so we're gonna resume tomorrow pretty early in the morning because I have things I need to do, and I was like, good for you, Matt Pat. I woke up. It was December 17th, I think. I woke up December 18th at 8 a.m. to watch Matt Pat play, and I stayed clocked in. I stayed awake. I didn't fall asleep, and then when the live ended, like 2 hours later, I said, okay, now I'll go back to sleep, and I slept from 10 to noon, and then I woke up and I got started with my day. Yeah, but I was committed.
You know, that's iconic.
Well, and so in that sequence was the daycare attendant sequence where have you seen clips of it?
No.
So it's like
I'll have to watch it.
oh, it's so, I won't ruin it for you because it's like one of the most tense moments in the, like there's some great moments in Security Breach that aren't necessarily like scary, but they're just like so tense that like it's
yeah,
like
I feel like they really started like not with like jump scares. I think they really started to hone in on like the tense
Yes,
fear and like
yes.
the anticipation
well, and
of
I think
everything.
that was smart because I think that they had kind of exhausted the jump scare to where like people
Yeah.
were making fun of them,
Right.
which they still have jump scares in
yeah,
all of the
but
games,
it makes it a little.
but they don't rely on them for the fear factor.
Do you want to hear my jump scare impression?
Yes.
I feel so bad for Riley.
Get closer
Are
to
you
the
ready?
mic, yeah.
I'm so scared. Wait, what? Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not.
Okay, I'll rate it out of
Okay.
10. Do you have a specific era you're going for?
Okay, specifically first game.
Okay, first game.
Okay,
for-
ready?
Yeah.
I'm so scared. Ready?
Mhm.
Okay.
'Kay.
We have to do the build up.
Okay.
This
Do,
is so
do you want me to like do the jaws like donna?
No, I'll do like the. We usually go boom, 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 boom.
Oh.
Boom.
Dun, 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 dun. Wait, how? Okay. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Bum, bum, ba-dum. I don't. Okay. What's- What is the? Yeah. That's the alarm clock though. Yeah, it was cute. I loved it. But also, that's the clock. What I was trying to think is the da 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 da.
Oh, yeah.
Da, 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 da.
They there's another one where I think
I like the ones where they jump at you. Yeah. And that piece of music like isn't even like FNAF coded.
That's crazy.
It's
love
like
it's so iconic though.
well,
in
it's
the
like
series.
yeah, it's become such a big thing. But it's like he chose that piece of music probably because it was so old that it was royalty free. Like he didn't have to pay for it. And he was
Which is
like,
so iconic.
great, perfect. And now it's like everyone's like, hor, 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 hor,
But
hor, hor,
you know
hor,
what? Honestly, I love the fact that it's so tense because tense games. Like I don't know if you've ever seen like people play. I have been on this weird. I've been watching a lot of Markiplier, and I guess Markiplier. I don't know what's going on, but he's playing a lot of like stalker simulators.
Oh,
Yeah, super creepy, and like the tenseness of it.
I
like,
actually hate those. I think I tried to watch GT Live play one time, and it like freaked me out.
Oh, no, I okay. Last semester, I was sitting in my room. My roommate was literally like where Riley is. She was like on her computer, and I had my earphones in, and it was dark. I only had my lights on, like my fairy lights, and I was watching, and I was like, "Tee la la, like this isn't gonna be scary." And then I was like, "Ah!" And she was like, "Oh my God, Tori!" And she couldn't hear anything, by the way, because I had my earphones in. And so I was like, "I'm so sorry. I'm watching a scary gameplay. Like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It won't happen again."
And then it happened again.
And then it happened again.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh my God." Like, she literally thought I was dying. And I was like, "I'm sorry. It's just
that
Stalker
is
Simulator."
crazy.
No,
well,
it is
those
scary.
specifically, like, I don't know what freaks me out about those because it's like you're watching them alone in your house, and the game is about being alone in your house, and so you're like,
That's why I only watch it with Maya in the room.
yeah,
Because I was like, you know, I'm interested in. But you have the same view of my brother because he thinks it's scary. Stalkers are scary, which they are. Have you seen that video of Renee Rapp protecting Drew Barrymore
no,
from her stalker?
no. Here, wait.
Yeah,
He
literally goes, "Drew Barrymore," and she's all excited, and she's like, "Hi, hello," and then he comes up straight to the stage, and he's like, "My name is Chad Michael Busto. You know who I am. I need to talk to you sometime today." And Renee,
Okay, here we go. Okay, this is a short. This is.
think you can sell people. Oh my God! Yes! Hi!
She's trying so hard to be nice.
So you know who I am. I need to see you at some point while I'm shooting you. Okay?
What? She just stood up.
no, hold on.
All she did was stand up. Which I guess, like, good for her.
No,
but
they
also...
stood up and they ushered her off. Like, if you look at the whole video, like, they go off stage for a bit, and he gets
Oh.
ushered out. And then there's an interview after, and he was like, "I just feel like I had a connection with her at the Rock Hard Cafe in Seattle, and I feel like we just need to talk." And then he starts going off on this, like, random, like, he just starts saying random crap. And he's like, "I feel like we need to have, like, a national meeting." Literally mentally ill. He needs to be locked up, and that's penitentiary behavior, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, literally penitentiary. You need to be locked up. That's scary.
It's like, get out of my way.
I don't know how we got there, but yeah. Honestly, I love Five Nights at Freddy's. I hate playing it.
Me too. Well, I don't hate playing it, but it's just like I would rather watch someone else play it.
I would rather watch somebody else play it and get jump scared like that, because the other day I was over at BJ's, and we were playing on VR, and they got it. So I played Parks and Services.
Parts and Services is honestly one of the scariest things you can do in
I
VR.
literally was like, Bonnie's...
Were you playing? You were playing Bonnie?
Bonnie's was literally in my face, and I was like...
Bonnie's
like,
what? Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand. That's crazy.
It was like in my face. I was like, "Girl,
You're like, girl, get that out."
Girl. And
You know that Bonnie is a boy, right?
what?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Actually,
sorry.
Scott Cawthon has had nightmares about Bonnie.
What?
Yeah, the only character Scott Cawthon has. Well, I don't know if the only character, but like, he had nightmares about Bonnie. But yes,
crazy.
Bonnie is a boy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Because the
I was-
only girl in the original 4 is Chica.
Chica.
And technically Charlie, but Chica.
Yeah.
Which, like, in the movie, there's that scene with, like, the 4 boys and the 1 girl.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes more sense.
Yeah, and so, yeah, but anyways, back to the game.
Yeah, I was playing, and I like my left hand is way like I can control like the shakiness in my hands. Like if I have coffee or something like that, I can control it
But you
much
were like,
more in my right hand. But I guess for some reason I was like, let me use my left hand, my non-dominant hand that I can't even control. So I literally was like, it was like, reach in, get Bonnie's eye.
Oh,
and I
yes,
was like,
I remember
I was
that.
shaking, and I was like,
I got it, and then I like shaked it, and it hit the side, and she went all up in my face. And I was like,
I would be scared.
and it did that twice because I
Yeah.
used my left hand twice.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
I can't play it.
Parts and
like,
services
on-
is one of the most like.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, my friend Audrey at home, shout out to Audrey if she ever listens to this.
Hey,
yeah,
girl.
she has it on VR. So that was the first time I ever played it. And the first game that I ever played, it was 11 o'clock at night, Five Nights at Freddy's 3. Awful. I was it's literally the loudest I've ever screamed. I thought I was going to die. My heart was having, like, palpitations. And I literally was about to cry. I was like, I can't do this. And it was on, like, the first night.
Yeah.
And I was like, also, Five Nights at Freddy's 3 is so complex with all of the mini games and how to find the mini games, which
Yes.
is insane to me.
Yes, like
there's
the
the wall.
Yes, the wall.
That is literally crazy to me because if you're just like playing the
Well,
games, like
and-
especially for the first time, how are you supposed to figure out that
They
1, 2,
didn't.
3, 4, 5,
they
6?
someone hacked the game.
Someone had to find out, and
Well,
that's
and
what
like Scott
Markiplier did.
was mad about that someone hacked the game to find that out, to find that code in there, because someone like speed running has more become about like, hey, can you break the game enough that you can do it really quick? And so like the speed runs for Security Breach are like super wild because Security Breach as a game is like pretty glitchy, and so
Yeah.
because it's so glitchy, you can like basically like break the game and like finish it in like 2 minutes or something like that, which that's a bit of an exaggeration.
Yeah.
But, so for this game, he was like mad that people broke the game because he was like, you're not playing it the way it was meant to be played.
Right.
But then
You're
also
supposed to, like,
people
figure
are
it out.
yeah. But then also people are like, okay, Scott, but like, how are you supposed to know that?
Yeah, yeah, like there's no like hints to do that or anything, and because at the end of if anybody's ever played, I just finished like the gameplay. Like at the end, they have good ending or a bad ending, and Markiplier had a bad ending. He was like, "What do you mean I had a bad ending?" So then I guess someone who probably hacked it and like did like a tutorial of it, he like went back and he had to play all the nights all over
That's
again,
awful.
but with that to get a good ending and to be able to unlock the 2020 mode or something along the lines.
Usually there's like a extra sixth night.
Yeah, the 6th night, and then there's the 7th night, but I think you can like play with the characters or something like that. Not like 2020, it's different in the third game, but something along those lines. I can't remember exactly because I watched it last semester, but
Yeah, I was never into Five Nights at Freddy's 3 because I remember I didn't like that it was only Springtrap, and I remember I personally didn't think it was that scary, and I thought that it was like I thought it was unsuccessful because they were leaning too much into like conventionally scary. And so for me, it was like, okay, well, you're just trying to be like a haunted house now. You know what I mean? And so I didn't love that.
Yeah, it technically was. Yeah, I get what you mean.
Right, and so
I had that on my mom's phone, by the way. She was like, "What is this game?" I was like, "Don't play
and
it."
then I picked it back up on 4, yeah, because I wanted to play it when we went to New York and whenever.
Oh my gosh,
like,
4
on the
is
plane
so
and stuff.
scary because
I
you have
screamed.
to listen.
Yes!
That's the scariest part because you have to turn it up all the way so that you can listen to like
Yeah.
hear the footsteps, which at the same time are so hard to hear, and it's so hard to tell what's footsteps, quotation marks, and what's not.
Well, and also something that I find really scary about that is the concept that like you can be listening at the door and they could be just waiting for you to turn the flashlight on. Whether you close the door or not, like that's terrifying to me. And funny story, I was in New York, right? And my dad like let me buy the game to play.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a big moment for me cuz I was like anyways, it was it was like $5, but my parents were very much like, no, we only get the free games. They let me buy the game to play like on the plane and stuff, and I was playing it in like a crepe shop. And we were like getting crepes, and I got jump scared by Foxy.
Oh my god.
And I screamed, and everyone was like, what is, like, everyone like turned and was like, what is wrong? And I was like, I was playing FNAF, sorry. Like,
Sorry, guys.
I was like
just got jump scared.
I wasn't even a freshman. Like, I had this god awful, like, not a bob, but like a chop. Like, I chopped my hair at my shoulders, and it was horrible. I will never chop my hair.
I feel like we all went through that era. Like,
I would go through that era like once every year, because for some reason, when I was in high school and early college, like I chopped my hair like last semester. I would like get to this point where like my hair would get too long, and I would cut it all off. And then now it's like I go back and I look at those pictures of me, and I'm like, that is the ugliest I've ever been.
There was this one time where I cut my hair really short, and I guess I wanted layers, but the lady totally botched it.
Oh no.
And so my hair was like, it was awful. It had like this was like up here, and like no, really bad. And I literally was like, I'm gonna have to shave my head. Like I'm gonna have to shave.
What did
my
you
head.
do? Did you just live with
I
it?
went back in and I said, hey, like, cause it wasn't really up here. It was more like right here. So I went in and I was like, hey, I need you to fix this layer situation because it is I literally cried when I got home and I saw it.
To the same lady?
No, to a different.
Oh, okay.
Her name was Dot. Shout out Dot. And I was like, if you have to cut it a bob, like, it's fine. And it was like COVID time. Like we were just getting out of COVID. And
But it was like it will grow back, and so it's like
yeah. So, but she was like, "Oh, babe, we don't have to have a bob. Like, I can cut it a couple inches, and it should be okay." So my hair was sorry for the listeners right now. You can't see this. My hair was like literally like this.
Oh my gosh,
For the longest, I have pictures. I literally. Hold on. I literally have it.
that's crazy.
But like, I remember my friend. You. Oh my god, you and my friend Jordan would be such great friends.
Hey, Jordan.
Hey, Jordan. Jordan Sanchez, my bestie. Let me go back.
Your year in a review. Every time I get my like Snapchat year in a review, I always have
This
like,
is how short it was. It literally was a bob.
that doesn't look bad.
Yeah,
I like it.
That was no. This was it. Like
After?
after. I have a video of the botched one. It was. I
That's
can't even
crazy.
look at it. But Jordan Sanchez actually was the one who was like, "Oh, do you play FNAF?" And I was like, "No, I don't play it, but like I like it." And like I used to play. And he was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, it's super cool, like all the lore and all this stuff." And so he's the one who really got me into it.
Hey,
and then
Jordan.
like, hey Jordan. And then that's how we started playing it in Audrey's VR because Audrey was like, "Oh, I have it on my VR headset," and I was like, "Okay, let's go play."
Well, and it's such a weird thing that FNAF is like so well done on VR. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like,
Oh my God. Yes.
Yeah. When everyone
to make
was
it
like
equally as scary, even more
Yes!
scary.
But it was so weird because when they announced a VR game, everyone in the community was like, I
What?
don't know about
Yeah.
that, like a VR game. And then the VR game came out, and everyone was like, this game is one of the best they've ever made.
Honestly, yes, and there's so many like options to do it. So even if you don't want to play like 1, 2, and 3, I honestly such a great thing that they didn't include 4 and VR because I think that literally would have given people
Well,
heart attacks and they would
yeah.
have died. It's like that.
Well,
that
they
Panera drink.
they include the little like spring trap like
Thing
coming at you
from
thing.
it, yeah.
But I always thought that was a weird choice that they didn't include 4. But I don't know why. Part of me thinks that they didn't include 4 because like I don't know. I don't know how valid this is, but part of me wants to think that they didn't include 4 because like that was canon in the universe, and so therefore it wasn't a game, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure. But anyways, back to like the FNAF 6 monologue. I feel like we didn't talk about that as much for how amazing that is.
We're going back.
That
was really good.
That is crazy, and that's one of my like favorite FNAF moments. And they were like, the end. I'm kidding. It's not the end. We have another game coming. And so it's like, I like the newer games, but I will say that
If it had ended there, it would have been so great.
yes, like I enjoy that I have something that like
I enjoyed that it's kept going, but like
I enjoyed that it's kind of so zeitgeisty that it's like The Legend of Zelda, where like they just keep making games. And like there's so much lore to Legend of Zelda that it's like there's 3 separate timelines and stuff like that.
what?
Yeah, we'll have to talk about The Legend of Zelda sometime.
Yeah. I mean, well, you were Zelda for Halloween, so
I was Zelda for
it's
Halloween.
only iconic.
Yeah. Anyways, but you know, it's like that where it's like the lore itself is like, have they really been keeping track of this, or are they just like throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks? But
Right.
I feel like that's kind of what's enjoyable about it is that like even if the lore becomes like convoluted and hard to follow, and it's not like a consecutive storyline that has always meant to be this way, and they're not like telling a story start to finish and then like ending it when it's supposed to be over. It's fun to like have that sense of community of like, oh, you're a FNAF fan, I'm a FNAF fan, and like
Right.
have something to talk about with people.
Yeah.
Because okay, also I feel like this is gonna actually this is not gonna sound weird.
Also, they are very involved with the community and like hearing the
Yes.
feedback, which I really enjoy because like that's the way you are successful, like, and how you can help grow your like and get more money, I
Yeah.
guess, because like
Yeah, well, and
Obviously.
also I think that, at least for me, the way that people react when you say that you're a FNAF fan tells me a lot about like whether I will be friends with you or not.
right
Because-
because there are mixed reactions. Like
Yeah,
some people
some
think
people-
it's weird, but I think it's so cool.
Well, some people think it's weird and they're like kind of rude about it. And like if you think it's weird but you're nice about it, great.
Right.
And then like there's people who like obviously like FNAF, and so like you bond with that person. But like I remember one of my coworkers, I'm like not very close with this person because I never like I'm a dance teacher, and so like the only time I ever see this person is like once a year at like a dance concert. Like I don't ever interact with them. But we were packing stuff we were like had met up to pack like bags for Christmas, and she was playing Halloween music because it was still kind of October. And I remember I wanted this was my first time meeting these girls, and I wanted them to like me, and I wanted to look cool in front of them, and so I wore my like Nightmare on Elm Street shirt with like the Freddy Krueger on the back, and like like I think this shirt is really cool, and I wore my skater pants. I love my skater pants, but because I wanted to look cool, and I wanted to like make a good impression. And I remember going in there, and the like Five Nights at Freddy's, like the Living Tombstone version, starts playing, and she goes, "Ew," and skips it. And I was sitting there, and I literally was like, "Oh, we're not gonna be friends."
Okay. Regardless of anything,
That song is fire.
the Five Nights at Freddy's songs are bangers. I don't care who makes them. Living Tombstone. Oops, sorry. Living Tombstone did great.
Yes.
Try Hard Ninja. Have you listened to the Try Hard Ninja ones?
I was
oh my god.
never a like FNAF song girly until like the movie, honestly.
I have to play this one
I
song.
don't know if we can play it.
Oh,
I'll cut it out.
this one song, Try Hard Ninja. Oh my gosh. This Five Nights at Freddy's 4 song. Like, change the game of Five Nights at Freddy's songs. Like, I literally could jump out a window.
That's so funny.
Lots more people are eating you whole. It's another chapter.
Here, wait.
Wait, you have to wait till the beat drops. Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm gonna listen to this when I get back. Like, are you kidding me?
That was really good.
That was insane.
I think that's so funny that like you were into FNAF music and I was not in like all of that stuff.
I loved it, and there's so many like really.
No,
great
I agree.
ones.
Like all of the songs are good, and like I do feel like FNAF music was a very niche thing within the FNAF community. But even with that, it's like my coworker like skipped that song, and I had this epiphany, this moment of like, oh, what I think is cool is not what everyone thinks is cool. And I was like, oh, I forgot that I'm like weird to most people.
But also, like, even if it's like quote weird, like that's what people like. Okay, I'm gonna say, shout out Tommy. Tommy.
Hi, Tommy.
Hi, Tommy. Tommy's a furry, and I love Tommy. I don't understand the stuff behind furries,
Yeah,
but I'm
neither.
gonna respect it, and I'm gonna like love on that person because like.
Well, also
whatever,
Tommy's cool.
Yeah, Tommy's cool, and like
Love Tommy.
whatever you're passionate about, you should not be like torn down for
Well,
that.
and also
or, like,
Tommy was so
because
cool
it was
about it, like,
weird.
yeah.
Tommy's so chill about it, and you can
Especially
ask
when-
him like
exactly.
any question,
Yeah.
which I think is so cool because I'm like, I don't understand it, but like, can you tell me something? Like,
Yeah,
tell me more
yeah.
about it. Like, I'm interested.
I
in
definitely,
learning.
I've had conversation before with him where I like walked up to him one time. Like honestly, I probably shouldn't have done this because we really weren't close. But Tommy was like wearing socks in class that were like furry socks, and I was like, Tommy, are you a furry? And he was like, yeah. And I remember being like, that is like, in my mind, I was like, oh my gosh, a furry? Like that's crazy.
Yeah, because I've
And
never
then-
encountered
exactly.
anybody
I've never
like that.
like met someone who like is a furry before.
Tommy's so chill. I
Yes,
love you, Tommy.
Tommy, if you have listened to an hour and a half, more than an hour and a half of us rambling, and you're still here, hey King, what's up?
Hey,
we love
King,
you.
we love you.
We actually love you so much. And I'm so sad we don't have any classes with you.
Oh my god, that's literally a crime, and I'm
Devastating.
to school.
I literally was like, where's Tommy in my voice and movement class?
Right.
Tommy, it's not here?
So cool, yeah.
Anyways, I'll have to have you on the podcast. Me and Tori will have to have you on the podcast.
Can I be your co-host?
Yes. Honestly?
Honestly, I love that.
Let's do it.
It'd be a vibe.
Oh my gosh, let's
You'd
do
be
it.
like Tana and Brooke.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Yes.
Yes. Okay. ASMR time right now.
Anyways. Oh, I don't know if that works. Okay, you'll have to tell if that works.
Let us know. It looks like it does. Okay, I'm not gonna do that. No, but I
Okay,
like,
that's enough.
But like making fun of people like for what they're interested in, I think is like so wrong.
Yes, that's. Oh my gosh. Okay, we need to table this conversation and have an episode about how people treat fandoms online, like, because especially with, like, specifically FNAF and My Hero Academia, I have strong feelings about how, like, people ruin the content for themselves because they think things that the fandom does is weird. Like, I've seen TikToks where people are like, if only the fandom of My Hero Academia wasn't so weird, because then I would actually watch it because the animation is good.
Okay,
I was
also-
like, watch it. It's good. Why do you think there's such a big fandom around it when people who love it? It's because it's good.
Also, TikTok, I love TikTok. TikTok normalizing fan fiction as like a core moment for every person, I think has to be
Yes.
the best thing that has ever happened to me, because everybody, I used to be so unapologetic about Wattpad, and I used to like pull it out in class. And
That's
it was
cool.
crazy. But like people would give me so much crap for it, and I'd be like, if y'all were here, if y'all read these stories, I'm sure you would be interested too,
Yeah.
because there are some quality writers
Yeah.
on Wattpad, and like, if you read, like, I'm sure the original stories are fun too, but like, there's nothing like, I'm sure you've thought about like inserting yourself into a show and be like, how would I function?
I was never a YN Wattpad reader.
Really?
No.
I was never YN either. Okay, never mind. That's it. We can talk about this off.
Okay. Anyways.
But I always read like character stories, so
Mm-hmm.
I never didn't get into YN until later on Tumblr. That's basically what we're gonna talk about. We can talk about that on my way down.
I love that.
But I think it's like that's so cool, and like I'm pretty sure.
Well,
it's-
and like Michael Sheen has said this about Good Omens, which I love Michael Sheen.
Oh, Michael
Sheen, in the very, very off chance that you are watching this, oh my gosh, you are the man
Hey,
of my
bestie.
dreams. I love you. I love you. If I ever met him in real life, I probably would never say any of this. Like, I would not thirst after him like I do.
would you be like, hey?
This is I've reenacted this for Bella. This is what would happen. This is what would happen if I met Michael Sheen.
Riley's an honorary special guest.
She's chilling in bed, listening to us ramble about random things that she does not care about. Love you, Queen. She no, okay, so this is what would happen. This is how I imagine it happening.
Yeah.
I'm walking down the streets of like New York or Chicago. I'm like in a big city for
Okay.
whatever reason.
I'm
Michael Sheen. Yes, Michael Sheen is there.
Okay.
I'm with a friend. Michael Sheen is there, and I hope he has his beard. Michael, please grow your beard back after Good Omens. I swear you are so much more attractive with a beard. Please keep the beard. And the long hair. Don't cut your hair short anymore. You are so much... Okay, Michael, I love you. I love you at any
love how you're
haircut.
talking to him.
I love you. Yeah, I'm on the phone with him right now. I love you at any haircut. I love you at any stage of life. I love you, my guy.
Is he married?
Yes.
Oh.
He's married to... Okay, this is going to sound horrible. He's married... His wife is like... Let me look up the age of his wife. Because I remember... Okay, wait. I follow her...
Your little thing.
My what thing?
Your little thingy.
Oh. Yeah, we can probably wrap this up soon.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I
but
don't wanna get it.
his wife is... Okay. His wife is Anna Lundberg. And she... Okay, so he is 52. He is 1 year older than my dad.
Okay.
Which, when I found that out, I was like 2 a.m, and I literally I had like a moment where I had to be like, that's weird for me. But I got to a point where I was like, I don't care. Okay, she's 30 years old. Oh my god. And he's 52.
Okay,
So
that's not
what-
super bad. There's been like other people who are worse.
Sure, but what I'm hearing is that I have a chance. Which
are you,
obviously
20?
Yeah, I'm 20.
Yeah.
So he can stoop.
He can go another 10
Yeah, he can
years.
stoop 10 years lower. Come on, Michael,
on.
please, Michael. Which, okay, going back to how
That's crazy. Oh my gosh, I can't even
in my
imagine.
ideal
My
situation.
mom's older than him.
Oh my god, yeah. My ideal situation. My mom is the same age as him, and my dad is 1 year younger. Anyways, my ideal situation of like how I've imagined this in my brain is that oh my goodness, I have to burp here. Wait 1 sec.
It's because of the
Yeah, they're
security.
carbonated.
I've literally been burping in my mouth because I didn't want to go.
Yeah, ASMR. Anyways, but so he
These
so
are
I'm
good,
walking. They honestly are not bad. I'm walking down
Let's camp.
the street of New York or Chicago.
Okay.
I'm with a friend. Hopefully, I'm with a friend. Michael has full curly hair, full beard. Yum.
I have
So sorry.
Full curly hair, full beard.
Yummy man. Whoa. And
Oh,
he'll
wow.
pass me, and I'll be like, "Was that Michael Sheen?" And then I'll look at my friend. They don't know who Michael Sheen is. They're like, "Who's Michael Sheen?" Or like maybe they know of Michael Sheen, but they think I'm crazy because like I love Michael Sheen so much. They're like, you're seeing things. And I run back. And I'm like, are you Michael Sheen? He turns around. He's alone, by the way. His wife is not with him, which doesn't matter because I wouldn't do anything like weird, but turns around and he's like, in his little Welsh accent, he goes, yeah, I am Michael Sheen. And I literally start crying. I start bawling on spot. I like tears in my eyes. I'm gone. I'm sobbing. And I'm literally like, I love you so much. Like, I think you're such a brilliant actor. And like, I've watched all your interviews and Good Omens, so good. And then like, I'll talk about that movie with Reese Witherspoon that he was in, where he plays like the asshole dad. Like, love that. And then I'll be like, oh my gosh, David Tennant, like you guys are so funny, and like all of this stuff. And I'll like, then I'll be like, can I get a picture with you, please? And then I'll have my friend take the picture. I'll be sobbing and I'll be crying, and then I'll be like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. And I'll hopefully he would give me a hug, but if like celebrity strangers, I get it, no hug. Of
course, yeah.
But like in my dreams,
which we have to regulate that.
Yes,
like, make sure it's more regular. Like they are people too, guys.
Have you seen that video of
Kesha and that guy?
Yes, Jerry Seinfeld.
I don't want to talk about it because it literally makes my skin crawl.
No thanks.
And it makes me want to hide under my blankets and be like,
like if I was Kesha, I would go home and I would not exist
I
anymore.
probably would have cried and like jumped out the window.
Exactly. I literally would. She goes, just a little one?
He goes, no.
And he goes, no thanks. And she goes, oh, and she walks away. I literally felt so bad for her.
And then he was they were like, oh, do you know who that is? He's like, no. And they were like, that's Kesha. And he was like, oh. Well, and he does not know who Kesha is.
Yeah, in his defense, it's like, yeah, you shouldn't have to hug someone who, like, you don't want to. But, and also, she was being weird by, like, asking multiple times. But, like, it's still, like, you still feel bad for her because she's probably, like, such a big fan, you know? Anyways, but yes.
Then Cardi B not giving
that
him a
was
hug.
crazy!
I was like, and you hate that.
And he goes, that was literally a reverse of what just happened with Kesha. And I literally was like,
Now you know who Kesha is.
Yeah.
I've been known who Kesha is. I love Kesha.
Yeah.
She made some really great music.
Yeah. Owl City one time, Adam Young, another one of my obsessions.
Bestie.
He said that the most, like, dirtiest, or, like, I don't remember what the interview question was, but it was, like, what's the dirtiest, like, music that you have on your phone or whatever? And he was like, probably Kesha. Because I don't listen to Kesha, so that's the only connection I have to Kesha on my brain.
Right.
But anyways,
I had S&M on my phone. Or on my little iPod.
S&M.
S&M, Rihanna.
Oh.
Great song.
I'm also not a Rihanna fan. I like her, but I'm not.
I was like really young, and I should not have. My mom said, "Don't listen to that song."
And so you listened to it.
I also had "I Kissed a Girl" by Katy Perry.
Oh yeah.
And
I kissed a girl.
It's a bop. It's a bop. It's a bop.
It really is a good song.
How should we end this episode?
Okay, let's go back to FNAF and let's finish talking about the monologue.
Okay.
And then the exhausted yawn from Riley.
She's like, finally.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Okay, the monologue. That monologue,
really great.
It's honestly a moment where it's like, where he says, I'm gonna look up the transcripts because he says, and for you, my old friend, the depths of hell are gonna open up to you.
Which, oh my gosh, like, the ultimate revenge is to kill all of them that he created. And isn't he in there too?
Yeah, so the whole point is that Michael goes and, like, what he's saying is that, like, Henry Emily has devised this plan to where he's going to invite all of the animatronics back under the guise of being Afton, and, like, they're going to continue with, like, their dubious plan or whatever. Mm-hmm. And he's going to have one of the workers get them back for him, and then he's going to, like, have them set the building on fire and let them leave. And then he's going to burn all of them, and, like, as in, like...
But isn't Michael Afton the one who's playing it?
Right, and so that's what he's saying at the beginning when he's like, you my unlikely friend. Yeah. Well, no, he says, you my unlikely friend. Let me look up what it says specifically. He says... Oh, okay. Brilliant. It's literally one of those times where it was like, this is such a beautiful ending to this game. Beautiful in, like, such a weird way. Okay.
Does it actually show, like, that guy, that claymation guy? Because he really threw me off guard. I was like...
Well, supposedly it's, like, that's supposed to be Henry Emily.
Yeah.
So.
That was, like, I was like, oh, that's, like, an actual guy talking. I thought it was just, like, a screen.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just supposed to be visuals of, like...
Oh, that might have been edited. Oh, maybe not.
No, that's the real cutscene from the game, I think. But, okay, so he's talking to Elizabeth, which also him saying, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Elizabeth, if you even still remember that name. That's the first time that we've confirmed that baby is Elizabeth. And to you, my brave volunteer, who somehow found this job listing not intended for you, although there was a way out planned for you, I have a feeling that's not what you want. Because he's saying, like, and also it's like, he's okay, so there's 2 purple guys, right? Which I don't think we've talked about yet, but Michael is
about that. We can do a part 2 of this too.
Yes, well, yeah, we definitely will have to.
Yeah, because there's just so much more.
Well, I have a very specific fact that I'm going to end it on, like, with this monologue for you, and then we'll pick up with Help Wanted, and then, like, the next 3 games.
Perfect.
Anyways, but,
I'll have to watch.
Yes, so good. But, so he says, Michael is also purple, but in the sense that he's physically purple.
Oh, right, because when Ennard...
Yes, when he vomits Ennard up and, like, survives for some reason, he, like, his body is, like, rotting and, like, turning purple. And that's another thing at the beginning of the games, like, the first 4 games where it's, like, we're terminating you for odor. It's, like, MatPat makes a theory where, like, the first 4 games, which, like, there is a theory that the first 4 games are, like, still relevant, but that the first 4 games are Michael going back and, like, being a security guard and then burning them down at the end every time to try and, like, release them. Anyways, and so him being like, I have a feeling that's not what you want, is, like, for me, is, like, he wants to, it's just, like, a moment of, like, oh, finally, I've righted my father's wrongs, and now I get to, like, be free.
Wow.
Yeah. And then he says, I have a feeling you're right where you want to be. Ugh! Dead. I'm dead inside. That is crazy. And then I'm remaining as well. I'm nearby. This place will not be remembered in the memory of everything that started this.
So does he die too?
Away. Yeah, so supposedly Henry dies as well. And then he says, every tragedy should. Damn, that's crazy. That's crazy. That okay. And then to you monsters trapped in the corridors, be still and give up your spirits. They don't belong to you. Yikes! That's crazy. That is crazy.
That's insane.
And, like, it's true because, like, Baby, the person at the beginning talking is, like, Baby, but it's, like, really Elizabeth, but, like, Elizabeth has been manipulated by Afton so much that it's, like, are you even, like, who you were before?
Right. Like,
and then there's also, we'll talk about this more next time, but there's also this discourse of, like, is Charlie also in Baby?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so, like, yeah, and then, like, this part right here. This is the part that gets me every time. That, like, when I hear this, I literally am like, I love FNAF. Okay, he goes, for most of you, I believe there is peace and perhaps more waiting for you after the smoke clears. Although for one of you, the darkest pit of hell has opened and up to swallow you whole. So don't keep the devil waiting, old friend. My daughter, if you can hear me, I knew you would return as well. It's in your nature to protect the innocent. I'm sorry on that day, the day you were shut out and left to die, no one was there to lift you up in their arms the way you lifted others into yours. Damn. That's crazy! That's literally crazy. And I literally want to barf. It's so good. Like, that is crazy to me. And the part where he's like...
Did Scott write that himself?
Yeah, and I think it's his voice, if I remember correctly. It's
what?
him, like, talking. Well, I know Phone Guy is him for sure.
Yeah, Phone Guy is him.
Hello?
Which I wish that they would have had Phone Guy in the movie. That would have been so much fun.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they kind of do, because they have Michael Afton, like the Matthew Lillard. They have him say, like, they get kind of quirky at night, which is, like, an iconic line from one of the, I think the first game. Yeah, but anyways, that is crazy to me.
I don't do nights. What? I'm sorry?
I don't do
nights. Josh Hutcherson, I love you. You're
love
my
him.
king, my Spanish king.
When he leaned against that door frame, you know what I'm talking about?
That's next episode. We're also talking about the movie.
Oh my god, can we please? I literally, I'll just be talking about the movie and I'll be like, Josh,
he looked so good in that movie.
He was like, and so good in like a normal everyday person way, you know, not in like a oh, I'm a movie star and like I look good like Jennifer Lawrence, like, you know, like Jennifer Lawrence is like gorgeous, but it's like that's kind of unattainable kind of thing.
Yeah,
Josh Hutcherson is like, you are the perfect.
He had that beard. And he had
don't talk to me about the beard. We know how I feel about beards. I could go on and on about that beard. But
so I guess what we're ending on is like that.
That monologue is crazy. And also that's a good spot to end, because it's like that was where the games were supposed to end. Oh, okay, so next episode we'll talk about we'll talk about Help Wanted, sorry. We'll talk about FNAF World, which FNAF World was crazy. Like, the end of FNAF World is literally you fight Scott Cawthon, and Scott Cawthon is like, why does no one appreciate me? yeah, and it's like this whole ARG game, and then like later, like literally a week later, he came out and he was like, disregard that, please. That is not canon to the lore. And so like everyone everyone like played this game, and it's like basically a forgotten piece of like FNAF history. It's like not even lore, it's just like FNAF history of like, that's crazy that
happened.
Yes, he literally spent months on this game, released this ARG game, or not ARG, RPG game, and then literally was like, the final boss is Scott Cawthon, and him being like, why does no one understand me? Why does no one care about my games? And like there was like a part where Chipper like is like mad that no one liked his game, and it's like, what is happening right now?
Chipper.
What is happening?
Wait, the
from
one
Chipper
that,
and Sons.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah. Do some research for you. Anyways, so yes, that monologue is crazy. Wait, the end of it. So after this, Ultimate Custom Night was made, right?
Yeah.
And so people think that Ultimate Custom Night was
Can I say
like
this?
was like his like Afton's like purgatory of like him having to like have these people like torture him over and over and over and over.
That honestly so cool.
Yeah, which I don't know how much like we still believe in that, but like I like that idea that I'm gonna hold on to that of like Ultimate Custom Night is literally like him just reliving all of these like wrongdoings he's done. And in the line about like the way that you've always lifted up others into yours, oh my gosh, I will cry. I literally will cry.
Sad.
And
like
this
he's
is
saying
so,
that to his daughter too.
This is so well written. It's like I guess my obsession with this specific piece of like FNAF history is that like people are like, oh, it's just this horror game about like animatronics, like wah wah, Chuck E. Cheese, whatever, and then they pop off. Yeah, they pop off with this monologue that's like beautifully written, and
I do that for my jury.
Yes, literally, I will read it again. The part where he goes, although for one of you the darkest pit of hell has opened up to swallow you whole, so don't keep the devil waiting.
Don't keep the devil waiting, old friend.
That's
iconic. That's
iconic.
A great way to be like, frick you for all you did for me. This is the punishment you get.
Well, yeah, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's so good. But then the way that they justify them making more games is that Charlie won't let him die, won't let his spirit die because she's going to torture him. And so Henry's hope, and like Henry's gone now, and supposedly Michael is gone too, which Michael, it's theorized that Michael is in Glamrock Freddy now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Vanessa.
And so like, well, yeah, and so then like the crying child, which we haven't talked about the crying child a lot, but like some people think that the crying child is Gregory as a robot, and like that's why seeing Gregory in the audience like malfunctions Freddy at the beginning of Security Breach is because he sees his brother and like recognizes him and like wakes up as a spirit.
Oh.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, but this moment is like, every time I think for a second, I'm like, well, maybe it's time for me to let FNAF go. Like, maybe it's time for me to, like, move on and accept that, like, the games are going in a place that, like, for, like, younger kids and all that stuff. I remember this, and I'm like, I can't. It's too good. Like, this is a beautiful moment. Beautiful in the sense of, like, that is, like, jaw-dropping.
I feel like, in a sense, it's, like, an ending for... I mean, well, I can't say anything because I haven't watched, like, the gameplay of the later games. Mm-hmm. I can't attest how scary they are. Yeah. But I feel like this was, like, an ending not only for Henry Emily, but also for the, like, really, really scary intenseness of the game.
Yeah. Well, because
so that it could be more friendly to kids, so that they're not being traumatized.
No,
like
totally,
we were.
Totally. And
I
like,
was traumatized.
With that, it's like after this, he really, because what happens, like the way that they justify the way they justify Glitch Trap is that after this, when the rubble is like destroyed, they take a like chip from the Springtrap suit and put it into the game to like try and replicate some of the like animatronics, or like someone puts a chip in the game and then Vanessa's brain is overtaken by Springtrap. Like he like puts herself into her consciousness.
Again, another topic because I don't understand the Vanessa stuff, because I know that Vanessa in the movie is also like
that's a good question, because it's confusing, because it's like,
because Vanessa's like an actual character in the book and in Security Breach, right?
Well, yes. So it's canon in the movie that she is Afton's daughter.
Yeah,
but
it's not
still
in the...
it's still like,
I don't understand all the game stuff about Vanessa, which we can talk about.
Well, yeah,
later.
and so some people justify it as being like Vanessa is also a robot.
Oh.
But I don't know if I believe that. Like, I haven't looked into that enough to, like, decide.
Yeah.
But anyways, all of this to be said, it's literally been 2 hours.
Hey, that's okay.
So
This is really
we
fun.
are going to sign off, and we're going to table all of those things.
With the awesome, amazing, epic monologue that
Oh my
Henry
gosh.
Emily gives. Should we read it?
Yes.
Here, you read half, I'll read half.
Okay, you do the baby stuff.
Okay. Okay,
It's crazy.
Okay. Okay.
So you played
You
right
pl-
into it.
You played right into our hands. Did you really think this job just fell out of the sky for you? No. This was a gift for us. You gathered them all together in one place, just like he asked you to. All of those little souls in one place, just for us. A gift. Now we can do what we were created to do, and be complete. I will make you proud, Daddy. Watch, listen, and be full. Your turn. Sorry.
He goes, connection terminated. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Elizabeth, if you even still remember that name. You are not here to receive a gift, nor have you been called here by the individual you assume. Although you have been indeed called. You have been called here into a labyrinth of sounds and smells, misdirection and misfortune. Bars. A labyrinth with no exit. A maze with no prize. Bars. You don't even realize the things that you are. You don't even realize that you are trapped. Your lust for blood has driven you into endless circles, chasing the cries of children in some unseen chamber, always seeming so near and somehow out of reach. But you will never find them. None of you will. This is where your story ends. And to you, my brave volunteer, who somehow found this job listing not intended for you, although there was a way planned out for you, I have a feeling that is not what you want. I have a feeling that you are right where you want to be. I am remaining as well. I am nearby. This place will be remembered, and the memory of everything that started this can finally begin to fade away, as every tragedy should. Bars. Sorry. Okay, and into you, the monsters trapped in the corridors, be still and give up your spirits. They don't belong to you. As for most of you, I believe there is peace, and perhaps more waiting for you after the smoke clears. Although, for one of you, the darkest pit of hell has opened up to swallow you whole. So don't keep the devil waiting, old friend. My daughter, if you can hear me, I knew you would return as well. It is in your nature to protect the innocent. I'm sorry that on that day, the day you were shut out and left to die, no one was there to lift you up into their arms, the way you lift others into yours. And then what became of you? I should have known you wouldn't be content to disappear. It's time to rest. And for those of you who have carried in your arms, this ends for all of us. End communication.
Bars.
I'm crying. I'm literally on the floor gagged. Okay.
And we'll see you next episode.
Goodbye.
Bye.